Get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 203, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Blues play tonight. They take on the Kings. TNT games. We'll get Jamie for the full show today. Fired up about that. And we got a pregame at 5:30, so a little off a little earlier tonight.
You're welcome.
Before our guy, Alex Ferrario, takes over down at Enterprise Center. We also have some Blues news. Matthew Kessel signs a new deal with the Blues. He winds up getting a contract that will keep him here for the next couple of years, Jamie. And it's a nice reward for a young man that, at 23 years old, took advantage of some opportunities that, quite frankly, other guys had. Guys like Tyler Tucker, some of the other defensemen, and he has been, when he's been with the Blues this year, Matthew Kessel has played very, very well. But from your estimation, Jamie, why give the contract to him right now?
Right now, I think what it does is it kind of lays out what you're looking for moving forward. It lets the team know for sure that he's in the plans, and it lets the kid know that he's got a little bit of comfort here. And this isn't a multi-million-dollar deal. He's going to make $800,000 annually. That's going to be his cap hit too. So realistically, you're getting a top four-ish defenseman for $800,000. Mm-hmm. So it's genius by Army. I'd have to go check out his cap friendly and all that to see where he was at as far as his contract status overall. I don't believe he was a UFA. I think he's coming off his entry-level deal. So there was no pressing need for Army to sign the player before he hits free agency or goes and signs somewhere else. But I think what it is, it's a good message to all the young guys within this organization that if you come in here, you work hard, you play well for us, then you'll get rewarded. And yeah, he wasn't scheduled to be, he was only an RFA. So this is a great deal for both the player and the team. But yeah, I look at Matthew Kessel and I didn't know what to expect. He was a 5th-round pick, first of all. So congratulations, scouting staff. Usually you don't get a guy, a 5th-round pick, that's getting a one-way deal already in his young pro career. But since he's come up to the Blues, his very first game, I'll never forget it, we were in Pittsburgh, and I was wondering where Drew Bannister was going to play Matthew Kessel. I just assumed he'd playing with Scandella. Mm-hmm. We keep him low in the lineup, not hide him, but kind of work him in.
Yeah.
Nope. Playing with Torrey Krug right away, and your reward for that was Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin for the whole night. The kid played really well.
Good luck, kid.
Yeah,
yep.
That's what I thought, too. Good luck. I've been down that road. They yell at you, get off!
Get off the ice!
I'm trying.
Rivers!
Al's better alone. Get off.
I'm talking specifically to you.
So I think that he has been very impressive. And just a side note to this, he's played really well with Torrey Krug as well. Look, Justin Falk, it's been a up and down season for him. I don't believe he's 100% healthy. I don't know that to be true or false, but he was playing much differently before the injury, and things have been a little bit more laborious for him since coming back. So one would just believe that maybe there's something that's kind of still tweaked there. It'll bother him a little bit. But either way, Kessel playing with Torrey Krug. We talked to our guy Grant Francis, helped us out with this one. Got to give him full credit for this. But in 7 games that Matthew Kessel was back in Springfield, Torrey Krug was even or negative. He didn't have 1+ game with Matthew Kessel in Springfield. Kessel comes back, first game back, +2.
Wow.
So, you look at that and you think to yourself, okay, it's pretty good. I like that. And when you look at Matthew Kessel, he's a big, strong guy, 6'2", 205 he's listed at. I bet he's every bit of 215. He's got huge legs. He's built like a truck, and you can see him out on the ice. He closes guys out really well. He's a good skater, so he gets up, he gaps up, and then he bodies them. He's not afraid to throw the body out there. Is he going to drop the mitts and be intimidating? I don't know. Time will tell. It isn't right now, but it doesn't have to be. You got to close guys out and plays, and that's what he does. And he doesn't get banged around out there, and he doesn't seem to get rattled by any of the games because look at his first game back from Springfield this time. What's your reward? Oh, David Pastrnak and Brad Marchand. And he ends up +2 on the night.
Mm-hmm. Does he project as a top pairing defenseman, or is he? Where do you see his ceiling being?
His ceiling would be to crack the top 4.
Okay.
I think we're kind of there right now. Like, you have to remember, he's had a good season for the Blues, but when you look at how many games he's played and things like that, he did have a slight dip in his game before he was sent down. I don't believe that was the reason, but in 23 games, he's been a top 4 defenseman. Is he a top 4 defenseman 82 games? I don't know if he's there yet. Can he get there? I think he can.
Yeah.
But right now, what you're trying to do is solidify your decor. And when you look at next year, you have to wonder or think that there's no Marco Scandella. He's going to be UFA. Scott Perunovich, I don't know. Does he get to that threshold of games played to where he stays a restricted free agent? Or does he not get to that threshold? He becomes unrestricted. Tyler Tucker, what's his future hold for him? That's a guy there that, quite honestly, you look at that, and he's signed through next year at $800,000 as well. Is he your 7th defenseman? Is he your 6th defenseman? Is he paired up with Kessel next year? I have no idea. But I look at a guy like Matthew Kessel. He's going to play next year. He's going to play a lot. Will he play every game? I don't know. That's up to him. That's up to the way he plays. But I know that Drew Bannister had high hopes for this guy. The very first time he called him up, I was a little surprised because I thought, Callie Rosen's got to be the automatic call-up here.
Yeah.
And Drew Bannister said, no, Matthew Kessel's ready, man. He's ready. He plays big minutes down the American Hockey League. He's a strong guy. He's solid defensively. He makes good puck decisions. He's got offensive upside to his game that he hasn't even tapped into yet. So he came with the backing of the head coach, and he has made the head coach look pretty smart.
So if this is the defensive core, at least the top 6 next season, in any combination, how do you feel about it? Parayko, Leddy, Kessel, Krug, Falk, maybe you either have Perunovich or you move on from him. Maybe you find a different partner for Falk. If he's healthy, maybe he's not a third line defensive pair. I mean, there's a lot. I realize there's a lot of variables here, but do you feel good, at least with the players in the top 6 moving forward?
Yeah, I feel good. I don't feel great. I feel good. But I honestly don't think that this is the defensive core you're going to see for the first game of the season next year.
Sure.
I don't know what the move is, but I don't see it being these exact pieces back here. Again, I think that Army's going to shift some things around. I think that there's a big reason that Army made this signing early. It's to make sure he's identifying exactly who he's going to have on this roster and which direction he can go in. So I look at that. I look at the core right now, and I think Leddy and Parayko, for me, should be here next year. I think that Matthew Kessel will be here. Beyond that, man, I don't know. And it's not that I don't like Torrey Krug. It's not that I don't like Justin Falk or Perunovich or Tucker, any of those other guys. I just know that, I should say I know, I think that Army's going to make some changes. I think he has to.
When you have a season,
who it is, I don't know.
Yeah, when you have a season like this where I think the expectations were higher, you expect and you didn't expect to have to fire a coach midway through the season, and now possibly making a transition from another coach at the end of the season, some players are going to be moved. I just feel like, I don't know who, like you said, but generally speaking, when you aren't performing to the level and you've already removed a coach and potentially another one, then the players are the ones that you look and say, okay, you, and you, we appreciate your service, but it's time to go in a different direction.
Yeah, well, look, he like, to your point, he fired one coach, brought in another, and if for some reason Drew Bannister's not his final pick, if he's not, that'll be 3 coaches now.
Right.
You better move some players. If you're going to move if you're going to have 3 coaches within one season, basically, because that's what it'll end up being, you better move some players.
Yeah.
Because it can't be the coach's fault every time.
Don't forget, we're going to be at Ballpark Village tomorrow. You can tackle your 314-day plans with the Battlehawks tomorrow, March 14th at Ballpark Village. Celebrate all things STL with a free 314-day Battlehawks Town Hall event with head coach Anthony Becht and the Battlehawks Brass. The event is free to attend. It's going to feature fan favorite activities. You got ticket giveaways, exclusive merchandise, live music, and more. As I mentioned before, we're going to be broadcasting live from 2 to 6. That's all courtesy of Sumner One. If you're interested in attending 314 Day with the Battlehawks, 101ESPN.com has all the event information that you can take a look at, see all the time changes, all the time for the events and all that. All the information is going to be right there at 101ESPN.com. There you go. The Cardinals. Best option for the 6th spot in the rotation or potentially the 5th spot. Jamie's got a different viewpoint on this that find to be interesting. I don't know if it's his viewpoint or maybe it's the Cardinals' viewpoint. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and let me tell you about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. If you're a contractor or you own a company, a business that needs recycling, you need to learn about Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. You'd be amazed how scrap metals add up and can help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber and heating and cooling, excavator, or any contractor, Scrap Mart Metals Recycling can make your job easier. If you own that heavy equipment that tends to break down and eventually will break completely and you need to replace it, Scrap Mart Metals will come get it off your hands and make it convenient for you to take it to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to take it yourself, haul it away. They have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It's recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale, and they have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Visit scrapmartmetals.com today. You can talk to my guy Lucas. He can talk to you about setting up a business account. It's simple. That's scrapmartmetals.com.
Zach Thompson had himself a pretty good day today, I would say, pitching for the Cardinals against the Twins. Cardinals lined it up where Matthew Liberatore and Zach Thompson would pitch this week because they're trying to get a look at each guy, whether it's as a fifth starter with Sonny Gray trying to come back from the hamstring injury, and all signs look like Sonny Gray's progressing well, and he's going to be fine to make his first start. You still don't know. It's a hamstring. Things could get set back. So you want to make sure that you have everything in place to fill in that spot if need be. As we've heard before, the Cardinals also have kind of a grueling schedule to open things up. They may start out with a 6-man rotation, at least early on. So they're getting a good look at Zach Thompson. They're getting a good look at Matthew Liberatore. Zach Thompson had a no-hitter going through the first 4 innings of today's game against the Twins. 52 pitches, as Derek Gould noted, dotted his breaking ball, which was another thing the Cardinals wanted to see. Zach Thompson looked fantastic today. He also pitched well at the end of last year. To me, he's your guy. If you need a 5th starter, you need a 6th starter to open up the season, Zach Thompson's the dude. But, Jamie, you had kind of a different viewpoint on this, and I don't even know if it's your opinion necessarily, or you're just kind of viewing things from the Cardinals' perspective.
I'm anxious to hear this.
On Matthew Liberatore and whether or not.
Oh, yeah. So I think.
Let me jog your memory.
Well, sometimes the hamster gets locked into the wheel there, and it freezes up, and it's happens with head trauma, Anthony.
I got you. I understand.
Yeah, CD.
Oh,
I do too.
Yeah. You do. That's right.
Hit my head on the desk.
Pool, side of a pool.
Side of a pool, just off the wall in general.
Right. What did you play, Anthony? No. Listen, I hit my head on the desk and smashed my face into the side of a pool. But I know what these guys go through.
Bull in a shiny shop.
Yeah.
No. So here was my thought: if Zach Thompson completely outplays Matthew Liberatore, there's no question. There's no question. But if it's a coin toss, I feel like Liberatore gets the edge.
Really?
And it's not necessarily the way I view it, but I'm looking at it through the Cardinals' glasses and going, we traded Randy Arozarena. Matthew Liberatore has to work to some capacity. We have to find a way to make this work. But Carey, hear me out. If he's pitching equal to Zach Thompson, he's going to get the nod over Zach Thompson.
Well, I agree with that. But if you just go off the last 2 days,
well, you're right.
Liberatore had 4 innings, 7 hits, and 5 earned runs yesterday.
Quite a bit of runway left.
Okay, all right. I know you all don't pay too much attention to spring training. I do.
Well, Anthony hates it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's okay.
He's like, whatever.
You guys have asked me that in some capacity the last 3 days. I've said the same thing, guys.
Yeah,
same exact thing. It matters to certain players.
As a pitcher, should it not matter more? You actually got there, a month before everyone else, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks before everyone else. Shouldn't you be revved up and ready to go? Should you, the mindset of, they're still getting acclimated. No, they were there before everybody else. That's why they bring pitchers and catchers there first.
But if I'm judging the results, are you a young pitcher or are you a veteran pitcher?
Well, if you're judging just off the last 2 days.
Well, I'm judging Zach Thompson. I think spring matters for Zach Thompson and Matthew Liberatore because they're fighting for a job. I don't think spring necessarily matters for Lance Lynn or Kyle Gibson outside of the fact that they're trying to hone in on the regular season.
Yeah, I don't feel like any of the top 4 guys are at risk because of spring training. Now, if their first couple times through the rotation, they stink, and Zach Thompson or Matthew Liberatore, or they're shoving, then you might see some things happen. But even then, most of the time, the managers are like, they let it go. Oh, he's got to work his way through this. Look how long it took to finally put Steven Matz into the bullpen.
Right.
It took a long time to get there. So to Anthony's point, I think that spring training matters to Matthew Liberatore, to Zach Thompson, and to a certain level, Steven Matz. And I think for Steven Matz, it's not that can he pitch in the majors. Can he stay healthy and pitch in the majors still?
Be consistent.
Yeah. That's where I go with it.
Who would you, though, choose? It's Zach Thompson, right?
For me, it's Zach Thompson.
It's a no-brainer.
I've liked this guy from the very first day that he got here to the majors. I can't say that I knew much about him in AAA, and I'm not gonna just lie to people. But once he got here to St. Louis, I liked the way nothing fazed him. They had him in the bullpen. They put him as a starter. They moved him back to the bullpen and then back to a starter. He's been everywhere and done everything that they've asked him to do. And now he's coming out here in this spring training where he's showing that he might have the maturation finally to be a guy in a rotation, the consistency, pitch by pitch to do it. I like him. I like the story. I think he's got a good demeanor to him. When I look at him out on the mound, like, he looks like a guy he's intense, he's focused. Like, he doesn't look rattled to me. Mm-hmm. That's why I like him.
Carey?
I mean, I like Zach Thompson as well. I think I'm still holding on to the Matthew Liberatore reign as well. Just hoping that, what I saw, I told you I went to his first start and he looked damn good. And I'm still waiting. If that's your first start ever, which you would think would be your most nerve-wracking, most worrisome, you're concerned. But he performed really well against the Brewers, and I'm still waiting on that person because it's in there. So I think Zach Thompson I think Matthew Liberatore probably has a higher ceiling, but as of now, still haven't seen it consistently enough.
He has to have a higher ceiling, right? Like, you traded, even no matter what the Cardinals thought of Randy Arozarena, they knew he was a talented player. Did they misjudge his talent? Yeah, obviously. But they knew he was a talented player. And Matthew Liberatore, you go back to his days with the Rays and where he was projected and the prospect, and he was highly touted as a pitcher. So I think that you're right. I think Liberatore's ceiling is higher than Zach Thompson. But the caveat to that is the player has to hit that ceiling.
Right.
Carey, you said, I think he's still got more talent. And I think it's like, how many guys did you play with that never played an NFL game? Practice roster guys that had so much talent.
A bunch.
Yeah, I play with a whole bunch of those guys, too. Training camp every year. Yeah. These guys be flying around. 2 games into the season, they're gone.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, the FBI couldn't find them. That's how badly they were playing.
Yeah.
Zach Thompson did finish his day throwing the no-hitter through 4 innings. 4 innings.
Let him go all 9.
No hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
How many chances do you get to throw a no-hitter? You let him go all 9, see what you got.
Oh, boy.
You don't agree?
You know what? He can have plenty of those opportunities in the regular season.
Okay, if you say so.
I've thrown this out there a couple of times. Do the Cardinals have the huevos rancheros to move a veteran pitcher to the bullpen or even a DFA situation if they're awful? If Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, Steven Matz, if they are dreadful, do they have the Liberty Bells to make a move and put Zach Thompson in the rotation at some point?
So,
I'm talking like May, June.
I think that John Mozeliak actually set himself up for an easy decision. Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn are on 1-year deals.
Right.
Steven Matz got this year and next year. If Lance Lynn or Kyle Gibson just falter and they're not good, I could see him DFAing those guys. This is why we gave them a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. This is why it was a prove it or a try it deal. Because we knew, if we got into trouble, we cut bait.
Yeah.
So I think that John Mozeliak already has the 2 candidates ready. Now, what's going to screw it up is if Miles Mikolas is terrible. If he comes out and he's terrible. If Steven Matz is terrible, now you got another year on top of that. That's a tough one. Now you're into the Paul DeYoung territory to where you're DFAing him, but you still got him. You got to find a way to make it work again. You can call him up again. It's
right.
But
or you just let him go.
Well,
I don't think they're going to let him go.
Or you just eat it.
I don't think.
I think that's going to be tougher for them to eat because it's $22 million. What did Lance Lynn sign for?
Not much.
And Kyle Gibson.
I think they got like 10.
If the Cardinals are ready to eat money, let's say it's a quarter or halfway through the season, now they're only eating half of that.
Lance Lynn got 1 year, $11 million.
So let's say it's halfway through the season. What's that, 5.7?
Yeah.
Ish.
You're moving. That's a drop in the bucket. Kyle Gibson got $13 million.
But even that, would you rather pay off or eat the half or the 3/4 of their contract, or Steven Matz with still another year?
Eat that puppy.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're dreadful and you have better options, like last year, where do you want me to start?
Anthony,
I don't see it happening that way.
Last year you didn't have some of these young guys that could be ready. Zach Thompson, I think, is ready.
Here's what I think will happen. If they're performing poorly, they'll find themselves on the IL somehow. Shoulder, okay, all right.
Sure. The old magical, old mystery IL.
That was sore. Yeah. You're going to put them on the IL for a little while, hopefully try to correct some things, and then bring them back to their starting role.
Oh, the old Homer Hagen.
Yeah, you're going to give them some time to reset both physically and mentally. Mm-hmm. They are not going to DFA them. They are not going to.
That's if the player says yes.
Oh, yeah, if he said,
Lance
well,
Lynn might tell him to go blank himself.
he may. And then guess where he's going to be, starting every fifth day? He's not going to the bullpen. You think Lance Lynn is going to the bullpen if he's performing
terrible,
poorly?
like if he gives up the same amount of home runs.
I mean, if he wants to be in the big leagues.
Adam Wainwright didn't go to the bullpen.
That was Wainwright.
Oh, wow. Why? Do you feel like he should have?
No.
He was good.
Terrible.
What the hell?
Terrible.
Tell me more, Carey.
He was going for that magical number of wins. In a terrible season.
He didn't go. We're talking about a terrible season potentially if your free agent signings stink. You're talking about DFAing them or sending them to the bullpen. That means the team is stinking.
No, it just means he's stinking.
But look at it from the other perspective.
Okay.
What if one of those guys stinks, but Zach Thompson or Matthew Liberatore are shoving?
I don't see them going to the bullpen. IL.
So you like losing?
Get correct. No, I actually
That's what I'm
love
hearing
winning.
too.
I love winning. Write it down.
That's what I'm hearing.
Just
I love
say it.
losing.
Seriously.
229.
There we go.
313.
Carey loves
Clearly.
losing.
Yeah. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. What's trending is next. I pulled up into the driveway yesterday, and the kids were out already playing in the yard, and I was looking out there. I said, "Man, I already get a mow thanks to Green Heavy, and the grass is already green. It's growing perfectly. There are spots that have crabgrass, and there's some different weeds and things like that throughout the course of the lawn." That I don't have to worry about, which is nice. I don't have to worry about going to the hardware store, figuring out which product works for my lawn. And in Missouri, you think that it's all the same. It's not. I have Green Envy. Green Envy takes care of that. They only use products that are formulated for Missouri soil and the different turf types and weather conditions right here in the state. They've been in business in St. Louis for over a decade. They take care. They take care of it by spraying the weeds throughout the course of the spring. They're battling Mother Nature too when it comes to the temperatures warming up and the rain and everything. They're dealing with that, so they make sure that if they spray and within a week there's still areas that are bad, they'll come out and respray again. That's no cost because you're already on their program. Green Envy takes care of you. They use special products, again, that's designed to take care of Missouri soil types. They do a great job. They're fantastic. They even leave little tips on the door. Hey, mow a little bit higher, or now's a good time to water. Here's how much you should water. They're great. So take care of it. Take care of your lawn this year with Green Envy, but call right now because now's a good time to get them out there to spray and make sure that you're set up for the summer. 636-757-1600. Again, 636-757-1600. It's Green Envy.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals tied with the Twins today. 1-1 spring training action for you. Zach Thompson threw 4 innings, gave up 0 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 5. We've talked about these outfielders for the past few days. Victor Scott went 1 for 3. Dylan Carlson 1 for 3 with a home run. Alec Burleson also 1 for 3 on the day. The Blues signed defenseman Matthew Kessel to a 2-year, one-way contract extension worth $1.6 million. The Blues will take on the Los Angeles Kings tonight. Pregame starts at 5:30. Puck drop is at 6:30, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll also talk with our insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at 3:30, so stay tuned for that. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with our guy Andrew Marsh. He's got What's Trending.
Carey, I noticed you're wearing your Pittsburgh Steelers shirt today.
12-5 this year, fellas.
Oh, you must be excited.
AFC North champs.
Well, did you say 12-5?
12-5.
Oh, my goodness.
AFC North champs. What's wrong? What did I say wrong?
You see the
13-4?
quarterback?
Yeah. You see the one we had last year?
It must be the defense. Dante Jackson.
There you go.
Coming in.
There you go. Yeah.
Deontay Johnson
Going out.
Going out.
Yeah.
And that's what the mad scientist Carolina Panthers are up to.
There you go.
They are trying to give Bryce Young some weapons.
Got one in Deontay Johnson. He may not block or try to recover a fumble. He's going to
You ever try outside of, catching the football?
Who knows? But
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
I love how you're about to go down the. Why are you saying that? And then,
No. I remember watching video on him barely moving on the football field.
Yeah.
And then who was it? One of the announcers yesterday, I forget who it was on the panel. There's so many first take, get up, all these things. You're like, wow. Anyways, one of them said he just went backwards before he went backwards before he went down there.
yeah.
Insinuating that he always catches a ball, runs backwards before he goes back up the field.
Right, yeah.
What does that tell me, Carey?
He probably didn't want to get hit.
Yeah, that's what it tells me.
But,
Shying away from contact.
Steelers making some moves, making some things happening. Make some things happen. It's going to be a great season.
They just took away one of Russ's weapons.
No,
no.
Don't worry about that. We're going to run the ball 35 times a game.
Artie Smith wasn't going to use Deontay Johnson anyways.
Don't you worry about it. I only need one guy.
Yeah.
His name is George Pickens. He's out there. We still got him.
And really, all you need is Pat Fryermuth and a backup tight end.
There you go.
Really, just a backup tight end.
Probably.
Yeah, and the backup running back.
Yeah, Jalen Warren's good.
Arthur Smith style.
That'd be good. Yeah,
But
you're
Artie
saying
Smith
this
was-
from experience or something. Have you seen this happen?
I've seen it.
Yeah, but that was as a head coach. As an OC, he was fine.
And actually, and Johnny
What are you,
Smith is
Derrick
not
Henry?
a backup. He's a starter
You
because
play the hand you're dealt, Anthony. You act like it's a
but-
negative thing.
Johnny
was a
Smith is
smart
actually
guy.
the starter, right?
Who?
Johnny Smith. He was the starter. He's the tight end.
Oh, no, that was Kyle Pitts.
No. Kyle Pitts is a receiver. Remember, he doesn't.
That's true. Yeah, so Johnu Smith was
there
the
you go.
starter. Yeah.
Are you guys just talking crap about each other's team?
Yeah.
I don't want in on that.
He started it.
Guys, the SLU Billikens won yesterday, 74-71.
Heck yeah,
I had to
baby.
represent
Lord of the
today.
Rings.
Let's go.
Proud of them guys.
They're
did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. I
You
may
didn't
not have.
believe.
I mean, they only won 9 games this year.
So
Is
what?
that 10 now?
No,
I mean,
they won. They've got 13
I'm
dubs.
getting confused with Mizzou. Sorry.
Unreal.
You can hate on Mizzou. That's fine. You got an excuse.
They got Duquesne tonight.
Oh, yeah.
the Dukies.
Old Duquesne.
The Dukes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Old
Pittsburgh,
Matt
PA.
Duquesne.
There you go.
Old Andy Duquesne.
What other ones you got, Mars?
My goodness.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you just
That
give me a few minutes. I'll think of a couple other ones. Maybe the text line can help me out as well. They're really creative. Speaking of creativity, how about Patrick Mahomes restructuring his contract, creating $21.6 million of salary cap space for the Kansas City Chiefs? Anthony, I wanted to ask you this because your new quarterback just signed a crazy deal. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between a guy like Kirk Cousins and Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I would say, Marsh, great question. I would say
very little.
First and foremost, it would be the Super Bowl victories.
Oh, that's one.
Yeah.
That's a team thing.
I think the other...
That's a good one, Carey.
I think overall the playoff wins, that's number 2.
Okay. Team again.
And, I don't know, freeing up some cap space so that you can also bring in some other guys that could help.
So
one of the reasons why the Vikings said, we would like to get out of the Kirk Cousins prison now.
Yeah. So here's the way I look at it, though. Is it's way easier for Patrick Mahomes to do that because he already has rings. So he's got his guarantee.
Tom Brady.
Or Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go there yet
Well,
because
he did the same.
Tom was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
He was completely underpaid for a long time. But he's got 6 rings out of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
So Patrick Mahomes wants the Chiefs to become the very first team ever to three-peat in the NFL, which, who knows? I don't doubt anything anymore with that guy. But if nothing else, he wants them to win another Super Bowl or 2 more Super Bowls. Like, he wants to leave there having it be a dynasty in Kansas City. So, but again, my thought is it's much easier for Patrick Mahomes to go in and restructure his deal because he already has championship rings. Kirk Cousins doesn't. And, does Kirk Cousins really think he's going to go win a Super Bowl in Atlanta? Probably not right away.
That's a
I don't see
terrible,
why not?
terrible mindset to have.
Here's the thing about Kirk.
As bad as his camera.
All of the players are already signed, right? They already got their guys. There's no need for him to give anybody cap relief because they got their receivers, 2 of them. Kyle Pitts is one of them. Mm-hmm. They got their running backs. Mm-hmm. They got guys there. The O-line, they said they went and got some defenders last year. They are pretty much, the only thing they were missing was Kirk Cousins.
And a pass rush.
Well,
they haven't had a pass rush.
Anthony,
you like offense over defense.
Minnesota.
I thought you were talking about Minnesota.
We can make it.
But that was
we can get to the
poll.
quarterback with pressure. You can bring 5, 6 guys. It's not a problem.
Carey, they've tried that a lot.
You try better. Try harder.
Work better
Raheem
and
Morris.
smarter.
There you go. He's got plans.
Better.
He's a defensive coordinator guy, right? He comes from a defensive mindset.
I'm with you.
So he's going to come with packages of people blitzing from places they don't even know where it's coming from.
Really?
You don't need a singular player.
Like Aaron Donald?
Well, if you have Aaron Donald, you definitely.
He might help.
I think what also helps Patrick Mahomes is he has income outside of the game of football. He has endorsement deals. He has money within like Whataburger and the soccer. There's a soccer
Kansas
team
City
there.
Royals.
How much
Yeah,
more
the
money does
Royals.
Kirk Cousins need?
All of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You're trying to keep him
Have
from
you
making
seen
money.
his jewelry, Anthony?
He's got gold teeth now. What are you talking about? How much you think
guy's
that's
a
going to
gangster.
cost? What are you talking? What's going on here?
What?
That may work in Minnesota.
It's going to work in Atlanta.
Oh,
for
he'll be
sure. I'm just saying.
Carey,
Quavo
you've
from the
played-
Migos already reached out. Hey, we got everything you need.
Can you imagine that
Whatever you
reunion?
need.
Imagine that.
We haven't seen a white dude in here.
Cousins. What up, homies?
Go. Ready to roll.
He's got his little cap on with all the little wires.
Unreal.
I got my grill too, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready.
All of a sudden, I'm not excited again.
Oh, no.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Do young players have a misconception as far as what success looks like? A future Hall of Famer said that, and while I don't like that future Hall of Famer, he might have a point. That's next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have over 700 vehicles all in one location. you don't have to drive around the greater St. Louis area, the Illinois area, to find your next new ride, because at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, again, over 700 vehicles. That's not just new Nissans, although if you want to take a look at a brand new Nissan Altima, they're sharp, they're great cars. I've driven plenty of Nissan Altimas. They're fantastic. You can finance one for only $499 down and $499 a month for the next 84 months. Not a lease. You own it when it's all said and done. Plus, you get the 30-day return car promise. Within 30 days, they promise that you're going to love the vehicle. But again, within those 30 days, if you want to bring the vehicle back, get a full refund. Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, they give you that peace of mind. They also, with the new Nissan Altima or new Nissan Rogue or new Nissan Pathfinder, whatever you're looking for, they've got the complimentary lifetime warranty, complimentary 1-year maintenance too. Financing options for everyone. Good credit, bad credit, does not matter. They will finance the vehicle for you. Check them out at autocentersnissan.com. And when you head down to Herculaneum, tell them Anthony Stalter sent you. Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Aaron Rodgers was on Lift, Run, Shoot with Cameron Haynes. It's a YouTube channel, and Aaron Rodgers said something kind of interesting about young players and how they have there's a misconception when it comes to success. Here's what Rodgers had to say specifically.
A lot of these young kids, the fear of failure has taken over their competitive greatness, and they have a misconception of what success actually is. So instead of being willing to put it on the line and know that there's going to be wins and losses, that it's not a binary system of measuring what success is. That success is actually being willing to lay it on the line all the time.
Yeah.
That's what competitive greatness is. You have to ingrain yourself with the guys. How do you do that? You listen. You get to know guys. You switch. There's just little tricks guys don't do. I've always done eat with somebody different every single day.
Yeah.
Get to know your teammates.
Right.
When there's outings, always go. If you're not setting them up, you should be the one setting them up.
Yeah.
If there's dinners, go to the dinners.
Right.
If there's trips to be done, set up the trips.
So basically, what Aaron Rodgers is saying is anything that Aaron Rodgers does, that is success. And other guys don't really understand that.
I don't know that that's what he was saying.
I think it's exactly what he's saying.
So let's park the vehicle right there. He's a pretty successful dude.
Yeah.
So
Extremely.
Quite honestly, you listen to guys like that.
He said,
Listen to me.
Arizona Diamondback. But yeah, you're right, Jamie. He's had a lot of success.
You listen to guys like that.
Well, here's
Got one Super Bowl.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many
Shut your
MVPs
face.
does he have? 4.
How many Super Bowls does he have?
It's a team award,
Really?
Anthony. I just said that
because we crushed Mike McCarthy like he's some big rube, and Aaron Rodgers gets off scot free. He's got one Super Bowl.
How many Coach of the Years does Mike McCarthy have?
Should have 2.
Well, he does.
Which would be more than.
Let me ask
Aaron
you
Rodgers.
Anthony. Let me ask you an important question.
Okay.
Regarding this discussion.
All right.
Are you going to be able to actually have a discussion, or do you hate him too much?
I hate him too much.
Probably. So, Jamie,
Yeah,
here's
so
what I
Carey.
was saying. Here's what I was
Go
thinking.
ahead.
He
Andrew,
mentioned.
Shut his mic off. I don't want to hear his snarky.
He mentioned fear of failure. And the reason being is because a lot of these young people, and this is I never thought I would get to this point, like in my life. Young people, I never thought I would be that guy, but I'm here. I don't know if I hate it, but
The gray in our beards makes us those guys.
I'm dealing with it as best I can. But the issue is most of these people don't see failure. They focus so much on the internet, on social media. Nobody posts their losses on the internet. They only post their wins. I remember, I think it was last year, Stephon Diggs was posting a video and catching passes at different angles, and he posted one where he dropped a pass. And in the comments, oh, man, he's a real one. He posted that he dropped a pass. Yeah. We work out. You're not going to be 100% in everything, but that's the mindset because social media has made people believe that there are no failures, that success is a road that nothing happens except for successful things, which is so far from the truth, but that's the images that we see. And so young players don't want to try hard because they know trying hard that you may fail. And then you got to stand in front of other people with the I failed face. And you don't want to do that because in your mind, you think everybody is succeeding at all times.
So what are the 2 kinds of videos that we see on social media? We see highlight reel, slam dunks, TD catches.
Thirst traps.
Yeah, those are.
I told you to shut his mic off.
I know, but that was a pretty good one. Yeah, that was you definitely see that on the internet. I mean, you see a lot of those.
Andrew, I was serious.
Way too much.
Sorry, Anthony, you're getting the vibe.
You see, in every sport, you have these highlight reel goals.
Yes.
And you have the awful plays.
Yeah.
There's no in between. You don't see the guy who he had a great game blocking. You don't see that guy.
Made a solid play.
I think this is where some of the fear comes from is, yes, there's jubilation when you make the highlight reel, the Sports Center top 10, but you also worry that you're making the not so top 10.
Right.
And I think that's what holds some athletes back. And I will be completely honest for a second here. When I started my career, I laid it out there, put it all. I played like I didn't care. Make a mistake, oh well, so what? I'll go do something positive after that. After I got traded a couple times, the middle part of my career, I was playing with fear, like not of the opponent. I wasn't afraid of like playing them
messing up.
I was afraid of being too mediocre and messing up, and I was going out there playing to not make a mistake so I could stay in the lineup.
Right.
And that pocket of my career was the worst hockey I played. And it took me to go to the Red Wings. It actually took me a really crappy year with the Florida Panthers to realize I needed to go back to not caring anymore. I needed to go back to what made me successful from the beginning. And when I went to the Detroit Red Wings, they were an amazing organization that basically said, we need you to be this player. We know you can skate, you can pass, you can shoot, you can stick handle. You're not here in Detroit because you're a terrible hockey player.
Right.
You're here because we like talented guys, and you bring a certain extra element with the physicality. So this is your job. So I got to go out and play like free. And after that, consistently after, I played much better hockey to end my career, but it was almost too late. So that pocket in the middle, when Aaron Rodgers is talking about these guys being afraid to make a mistake, it exists, man. It really does exist. And the only thing it can try to tell a young guy is to fight through it.
Embrace it.
Don't lose who you are at the core of as a player. Because once you do, man, anybody can do your job then.
Yeah.
Because if I just become the guy who's like, I just don't want to make a mistake. I got 20 guys who could play that way. I need you to bring something special. Even if there's mistakes attached to it, I need to know that you're just laying it all on the line. So that's, for me, that's what I got out of that there. And some of these kids today are happy just to be there. Some of them are terrified to make the not-so-top 10, and some of them are just trying to not make a mistake out there.
Do you think we saw a lot of that last year with the Cardinals, and that's why they're bringing in, like, veteran leadership? Do you think we're seeing that with the Blues right now?
Is his mic on? Can he talk?
Anthony.
I'll allow it.
You're good to go.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this year's roster, I think Doug Armstrong wanted to bring in guys that were not on one-year deals. And he did that because he saw the way things unraveled before the trade deadline last year. So he wanted guys that were going to be all in on the Blues because they were committed. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what that was. As far as bringing in veteran guys, I mean, there wasn't a ton of young Blues players coming into the year. You had really a veteran team.
You had one of the oldest teams in the NHL.
There you go. Now we're starting to see the influx of youth come in, but that wasn't the case at the start of the season. So I think that's what the case was there. Carey, what did you think of Aaron Rodgers' comments?
I mean, I agree with him to a certain degree. I think, and what Jamie said is, when you are a professional athlete, I think people, and I've said this time and time again, everybody is talented. The thing that separates good from great from Hall of Fame is your level of confidence. Like if you're a Hall of Famer, your level of play is actually much higher than a good player. But the confidence that you have to make it to a professional team and to stay on that team is what is the most important part. The mental aspect of it, the grind, how hard it is every single day, because your reward for doing good is, okay, you got to do it again because now I expect it. It's not good job, pat on the back, go sit down for the next. No. You got to do it again because I've seen it from you. Uh-huh. And now that standard is here where maybe 2 days ago it was here, but you've shown that you can be here. And then can you stay there, or can you rise up to another level? And it's a constant mental battle of doing this every single day, no days off. And that's the part where you see a talented player who doesn't make it out of training camp or doesn't make it after a couple of games because they physically can do it, but mentally they're unable to just do it every single day because it becomes too much.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And I think it can be the same thing can be true too if we take that mindset and we put it into the business world. Mm-hmm. You always hear about the businessmen or businesswomen who are super successful and they risked it all. You know, there's one point, a moment in their life, a deal, a sale, or whatever, where they just said, you know what, going for it. Mm-hmm. And they never look back, and then they have, lots of success. I think that you see the stagnant businesses are the ones that never try to operate outside the box, don't try to do too much. They're just happy to be there. Yeah. They're still successful, but they never reach that level of success that some of these other businessmen or businesswomen are willing to take the risk to get to.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter's Fastline on 101 at ESPN. Dylan Carlson hit a home run today.
All right. Excited.
Would you rather see Dylan Carlson or Alec Burleson in the outfield for an extended period of time with all the injuries? That's next on 101 ESPN.
for replacement windows? Please call my friends over at Window World. They are the best in the business for several reasons, but their customer service is fantastic. It's off the charts, and they take care of everybody like family. And all you got to do to get an appointment with them is give them a call at 314-993-1800. They're located right there off Highway 70, a brand new facility, lots to look at in there. And I tell you what, their windows are special because they have a double strength glass that you just don't normally find in replacement windows. I've seen some replacement windows that are thin, that break easy, that the heat comes in, the cold comes in. They're not efficient at all. Well, Window World has an unbelievable window that is tough to break. I know. I stood on one in the showroom. Stood on it and kind of bounced up and down. Nothing happened to the window. But if there is something that happens, they have a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. That's why they are my first choice when it comes to replacement windows. And Window World now offering 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. So don't hesitate. Give them a call, 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800, or visit them at windowworldstlouis.com.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the fast lane. Carlson or Burleson? Carlson hit a home run today, but Burleson has had the much better spring. He's also been somebody that offensively has been, comparatively speaking to the two, he's going to give you more offensively, but Dylan Carlson is going to give you more defensively. Carey, I feel like you're leaning in an opposite way of me, and I wonder if it would Jamie too. Who do you want to see in the outfield? If Newt's going to be out for a while, if Tommy Edman's going to be out for a while, who do you want to see in the outfield, Burleson or Carlson, if you had your choice?
So I am willing to compromise, if you want to call it that. A little bit of defensive ability for what is provided at the plate. And right now, Alec Burleson is hitting the ball pretty damn well. 407 average. He is at a 1.39 OPS. I'll take that. I will take a guy that is swinging the bat very well, left-handed power hitter, a guy that can do a lot of things. And again, we talked about his maybe lack of mobility in the outfield. Which, maybe? Okay. When you lose weight, I told you guys, he lost some weight. He lost about 15 pounds, put on some good muscle. He's looking better. Feeling better. When you look good, you play good. When you play good, you get paid good. So that's what Deion said. So here's your guy.
He did okay.
He did pretty well. So I am okay with Alec Burleson if Victor Scott is your center fielder, your starting opening day center fielder, and Alec Burleson is in left field, and he's hitting the ball at the rate that he is right now, I think Dylan Carlson, I don't want to say his time has run out, but I think we're starting to see the writing on the wall, because in center field, that was supposed to be his opportunity, especially with Tommy Edman missing this time. But we're not talking about him playing center field. We're talking about, we're going to move him to left field. I think Alec Burleson has played well enough so far this spring that he deserves that opportunity, despite his limitations.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think Alec Burleson could do the exact same thing he's doing now as a DH?
Well, maybe. But here's the question.
I always look at it as, why put the square peg in the round hole?
So who's going to be sitting on the bench then?
Well, whoever's not hitting.
You got Brendan Donovan sitting on the bench. You got
Brendan Donovan,
Gorman sitting on the bench.
If Brendan Donovan's healthy, he's going to be in left field.
Oh.
So we won't worry about Burleson and Dylan Carlson at that point.
Okay, when everybody comes back.
Yeah.
Tommy Edman. If Victor Scott is still your center fielder, because he, in my opinion, is the most athletic, the best center fielder that they have on this roster right now. Tommy Edman, again, was filling a void, but not necessarily the best center fielder if the roster is the way it is now. He's your best second baseman. So now you put him at second base. So that means Nolan Gorman becomes your DH. So then who is in left field and who is sitting on the bench and watching baseball?
But in baseball, as you know, it's all like in 5 to 6 game increments, right? Because somebody gets hot, somebody gets cold. Another person gets hot, another person gets cold. Right now, Alec Burleson is
on fire.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I'd say, okay, he's my DH. Is Gorman on fire right now? No, not really. Is Donovan? No, not really. He's still injured anyway. So Alec Burleson would be my DH, and I would still go with Dylan Carlson in left field. For the simple fact that I think locking down the outfield from a defensive standpoint is not just as important, but has a level of importance to it, to where I'm still getting the best version of Alec Burleson. The best side of him is at the plate. I'm still getting that. And then in 5 games, Alec Burleson might be ice cold. He might not be able to hit anything. And then Gorman's ready to step in, or Donovan's ready to step in, or whoever else. So that's why I err on the side of the hot bat who can't really field goes to the plate while the other guy goes on the outfield.
Jamie, my friend DeMarco Farr said it best.
I don't mind riding a hot guy.
No, I don't either. But after 5 days, 5 games, the hot guy may not be all that hot anymore.
He might not be. Yeah, good call. Good call on that one, Jamie. I don't want who's your center fielder too?
Victor Scott.
Because Victor Scott, who I think will cover a lot of ground, but he still would be a rookie. Making his big league jump.
You know who was a rookie last year? Jordan Walker. You know who was a rookie at one point? Nolan Arenado. You know who else was a rookie? Paul Goldschmidt. Those guys were rookies at some point.
Jordan Walker.
I'm just saying. Everybody. Bryce Harper was a rookie at one point. How'd that work out for him?
You're picking the Hall of Fame. You're Pedro Martinez in it right now.
Is it my argument or not? Yeah?
Well, I was considering a discussion. Now you called it an argument.
It's always an argument. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't want to flank Victor Scott with 2 guys that could struggle defensively. I would want Dylan Carlson out there.
Let me ask you this. Is Lars Nootbaar potentially in a bit of a situation here because of the injury with
not
missing
losing
time?
His job, no.
With missing, you don't think so? With missing time and guys performing extremely well, if he comes back and is not performing.
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody who doesn't perform and coming back from an injury, I think they're at risk ultimately. But I think he's going to get every opportunity to reclaim his spot.
I think you all are higher on Lars than I am.
I think so too.
Like I'm not.
I don't know why you don't like him.
I don't dislike Lars Nootbaar. I like him just fine. I just don't. I'm not as high on him as.
Not right now. You're not.
No, not now. But if he starts raking, I will be a Lars Nootbaar fan. I'll be a nutty neuter of Newt Nation right there with Brooke. That's her fan club. Yeah. Anthony's in it. He's part of it.
I'm not part of that fan club. I just like Newt.
He's part. Listen. He's part of the fan club. I've
Anthony,
heard.
we know the truth, man.
Yeah,
See?
I like Nootbaar. Carey doesn't.
No,
That's the truth.
Clear. It's clear.
That's ridiculous.
Trying to get rid of him?
What?
Trying to bench him?
Oh my God.
We were going to get him on here too.
Yeah.
No,
Not anymore.
I don't want to get rid of Newt.
No chance.
I don't think Newt's a superstar. I don't think Newt's a star. I don't think Newt is a great player. I think he's a above average player, and he's one of your better outfielders. And when he's healthy, he's playing.
Say that again.
When he's healthy, he's playing.
When he's what?
Healthy.
Okay. It's a key component to being a professional athlete.
Dylan Carlson hasn't been healthy either.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of guys that have been
I
healthy.
don't want him out there either.
I know you want Burleson.
I want people that are going to play and be healthy.
Yeah, and play
hit.
well.
He doesn't. Hey, now you might not get to every ball. You know what? You know what? How you fix this? You know how you fix this? Don't let them hit the ball to left field, pitcher. Just do that.
Oh, most batters are right-handed. That's going to be really easy.
Pitch away. Pitch away.
You're killing your own argument here. You can't put that guy in the outfield.
No, I'm not. I can because he's going to bat at some point.
Then why don't you want him to hit the ball to him?
I don't know. Yeah, you can hit it to him, just not that often. No, let's limit.
His argument is falling apart right in front of his eyes. Jesus,
What Carey's trying to say is this guy's a DH. That's what Carey's trying to say.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
He's a DH,
I like you.
and he should be a DH.
You let him play left field. See what happens.
We did.
I'm all about seeing what happens.
We did
and I
last
saw
year.
it.
I wasn't-
Pull up the video.
Listen, last year I was alone. I was with you. I did not want to see him in left field this much.
I don't know what changed.
People are hurt.
Well, he's focused on the 15 pounds. Did he pick up 15 miles per hour
Yes.
on speed too?
Gained some speed, lost some weight.
I highly doubt it.
Prove me wrong should be fun today.
Yeah, no
You guys
kidding.
are in good
Rare
form already.
Yep. Hey, Selection Sunday is almost here. Get signed up to play in this year's Bracket Madness Pick'em Challenge. Register to participate now at 101ESPN.com. It's free to enter, and this year's top scorer will take home a $250 Amazon gift card and a 101 prize pack. See the contest rules and get signed up to play Bracket Madness now at 101ESPN.com. It's all brought to you by Bud Light and Twin Peaks. I've got a take on free agency. It's not just necessarily the NFL, but all free agency that I think is going to be an unpopular opinion. So what that is next on 101 ESPN. Now it's the perfect time to call Mosby Building Arts. They're the right remodeling company, and I've got a right situation for you to call because during their spring refresh sale, Mosby Building Arts is offering $1,000 off bathrooms plus low monthly payments, 10% off windows, or 12 months no payments, but you do have to call before April 30th. So you got a little bit of time, but if you've been looking at your bathroom and you're saying to yourself, man, we have got to remodel this thing, want to do it the right way, well, then call Mosby at 314-909-1800. You can also visit callmosby.com. But again, they got their spring refresh sale, $1,000 off bathrooms plus low monthly payments, and again, 10% off windows or 12 months no payments. Reliability and professionalism. A reliable remodeling company will communicate effectively. They'll stick to deadlines. They'll maintain professionalism throughout the project. They will also be licensed, insured, and adhere to safety regulations, giving you peace of mind throughout the remodeling process. That's Mosby. So if you've dealt with somebody else that you don't know if they're licensed, you don't know if they're going to be professional, you don't know if they're insured, you don't know if any sort of warranty is going to hold up because you don't know if the company's going to be around, then don't go with that company. Go with the right remodeling company. Call Mosby. Again, 314-909-1800, because everything I just talked about with reliability and professionalism, that is Mosby. Visit them at callmosby.com. Call them right now. Spring refresh sales going on throughout the month of March and April. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. of people are writing think pieces or reactionary pieces to the NFL free agency period, and a lot of people, of course, whether you look at TV shows, various TV shows, or listen to radio shows, people are talking about how exciting it is that this team improved or that team improved. Over the last couple of years, if you were to look at free agency, in fact, if you go back 3 years ago in the NFL, just the NFL, and look at the top 30 free agents in terms of how much they signed for, how long they signed for, most of them are not on their teams anymore. They're those respective teams anymore. In fact, only 5 of them out of the 30 teams are still on those same teams. I know it's exciting to talk about free agency and, hey, this team got a lot better today, or this team, winners, losers, all that. But guys, I don't really care if it's baseball, football, even hockey. Basketball might be a little different because of the way that guys jump teams, like superstars will jump teams. So let's leave basketball to the side. But definitely when it comes to football, I think baseball is a little bit like this, and then hockey too. Free agency is an omission of, I blanked up in the draft at this position, and now I have to overpay to fill that spot. Even if you look at the Cardinals, the reason why they needed 3 starters is because they blanked up with trades and drafting with the pitching over the last 10 years. Now, I know guys are coming. I know that Tim Kent's, a.k.a. Little Pedro, is coming. Gordon Graceffo, Michael McGreevy. They've got guys coming up. I realize that. They got young guys coming up. But they missed a window with their pitching. We've talked about this. So what did they have to do? They had to bring in Lance Lynn. They had to bring in Sonny Gray. They had to bring in Kyle Gibson. Free agency, we view it as, my team is trying. It's actually your team blanked up in the drafts. Now they have to fill in those gaps and overpay to do so.
All right, is your comment or your opinion on this strictly based on the Cardinals, or are you talking teams in general?
I think teams in general.
Ooh, I couldn't disagree any more with you right now.
Okay.
Because your draft picks and you guys you develop, all your younger guys, they, for the most part, they can't carry your team. They can't drive your team to a championship. You go into free agency looking to find the pieces that you need, not necessarily admitting that you did something wrong. Well, so, then how does your theory hold water with teams who have drafted, like the Dodgers? The Dodgers draft, they develop, and they sign free agents.
Mm-hmm.
So then what you're saying doesn't really work for them.
Doesn't it, though?
But no, it really doesn't. Because the guys that they draft and develop eventually become the guys, but right away they're not. So the Dodgers keep filling up the top of the bucket with the free agents that they need to get them, or they trade for the guys. They draft, they develop, and then they go get what they need on top of that.
Most of their guys right now are free agents or trades.
Maybe right now, but it's cyclical for some teams too, to where the Dodgers will, for whatever reason, they've never had to tank. I haven't seen them tank. I don't know if I've ever seen them be horrible in my lifetime.
That might be the one exception, but we're talking about a team that's a juggernaut.
But I still disagree with you, though. I still do. I think that smart teams, properly run organizations, draft and develop, and they don't lose those players. They keep them within, but then you're eventually going to lose some players. And you can't draft and develop and have a full team of cost-controlled players.
I'm talking about the top end free agents. I'm talking about the dudes that cost money. I'm not talking about Pat Maroon.
But I don't necessarily.
Pat Maroon's a nice, Pat Maroon, veteran leadership.
I understand, but
one-year deal. I'm not talking about those guys.
I still don't view it as an admission of screwing up.
Okay. The name a free agent that's just signed over the last 2 days. You want to talk Kirk Cousins? Let's talk Kirk Cousins. They handed him millions.
Let's talk Derrick Henry.
Sure. Derrick Henry. Let's talk about Derrick Henry.
Yeah, let's talk Derrick Henry, because the Ravens had, Lamar Jackson was their running game.
Exactly.
Yeah, now they got Derrick Henry. So
right, because they haven't been able to draft that running back. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. So you're...
I'm not saying it's wrong.
You're also isolating one small... if I had a day, I could go back to every league and every team that reinforced their rosters with free agents and they won championships, too. Let's go back to the Lightning when they won 2 in a row and got to 3 Stanley Cups. They went and reinforced their lineup with Zach Bogosian, McDonough, other guys that they went and got.
How much did those guys cost though?
As far as money or draft picks?
Were they like top end? You know better than I do, and I'm not. This isn't.
McDonough was a top end guy. You know, Zach Bogosian was more of a second or third layer guy. But again, you know, that's a team. But Tampa Bay was a team that drafted and developed, and then still needed free agents to get to the promised land.
Were those guys top end free agents? Let me take a step back here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
I
is,
understand what you're saying. I just don't think that it's accurate. Just like what I'm saying is not accurate to every team.
Yeah.
I don't think what you're saying is accurate for every team either.
This is why I'm trying to get in this window here. What I'm saying is, so as I'm driving around listening, or as I'm watching, as I'm reading, the last 2 days, there are teams that are being praised for the work they've done in free agency. No, you overspent in the market because you did not draft and develop properly. Now we're praising those teams.
But that's also specific to certain teams. Not all.
Is it specific to certain sports, though? Because I think football, like in baseball, those contracts are guaranteed. So guys are going to be around for extended periods of time. NFL, you could sign a contract for 3 years and make it 1 and be done, or a 5-year deal, 3 and be done. And that's probably why you have such higher turnover with the NFL teams. But I do agree to a degree with Anthony, because when you're drafting, for me, the best way to build a team is through your draft. That way, that person is in your system. That person knows exactly how you go about your business, how you want to cultivate a team, and how you want that person.
I'm not saying anything different than that.
Well, but I think what he's saying, and I could be wrong. I think what he's saying, if you have to go out and spend excessive amounts of money on a player that you drafted, but you didn't draft right.
What if he's not ready? What if that player is the right player, but he's not ready?
How long do we have to wait for you to be ready? Because our clock is based on we drafted you with the expectation of you being ready by this time.
So when they draft a kid out of college, he's expected to be the best player on the field immediately. I don't have to get another running back.
It depends on who that player is. It depends on the player. Like, some players do take a little bit more time, but if you're drafted first, if Caleb Williams is drafted and the Bears want him, and he's drafted by the Bears #1 overall, and they want him to play today, they expect him to be ready to play today. Is he going to be? Maybe, maybe not. But it depends on the person. C.J. Stroud was in a contender. Well, no.
Not a contender. We're talking about teams. I'm referring to teams that are actually good.
I think, Jamie, what you're talking about is filling in the gaps.
Yeah,
in
like
free
you have
agency.
to do that. If we go back to, let's go back to 2 years ago when Alex Petrangelo signed with the Vegas Golden Knights. That was a successful team. And they drafted good. They developed some good players. Obviously, the expansion draft, all that stuff. And then what they did address a need that they had, but was it an address where they screwed up? Not necessarily. They found the best player out there, added him to their roster because they said, this guy can take us over the top. So I don't necessarily view that as an admission of, like, screwing up.
Did they have 2 #1 defensemen?
No, but they had some good guys. But I understand what you're saying, but you're also not drafting a #1 guy. The #1 guy you draft is not stepping in and being your #1 defenseman.
Especially if you're a good team, too, because you're not drafting high.
But what happens, though, eventually those guys come up. I agree that it's
but when eventually they come
cyclical.
up, then you don't have to spend. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm saying your particular opinion, you flip it over on its head, and both your opinion and mine can be right at the same time. It all depends on what team it is, where are they in the standings, are they a contender, are they not a contender? Just because you draft and develop a guy doesn't necessarily mean that player is the best player in that position at that time.
I agree, but it's incumbent upon you to know what is in your pipeline, what you do well. Are you developing those guys, or do you have to overpay for those guys? Vegas is a great example of what you're talking about. Columbus, how much money they give to Johnny, what's his nuts?
Johnny Hockey.
Yeah. Johnny Hockey. They had to overpay him. They don't draft well. Yeah. That's who I'm referring to. You're right. Vegas signing Alex Petrangelo. Hey, we don't have a Petro. He's available. He wants to be here. Cool. Let's spend for him. And they got a cup out of it 2 years later. I'm more referring to the teams that get all this praise for spending all these free agent dollars when you really
didn't draft well.
You didn't draft well.
Like Wilson Contreras, right? You spend money on Wilson Contreras knowing that Yachty was at the back half of his career, and you still had no one ready to take over that position.
Kisner wasn't ready. At one point, it was supposed to be Carson Kelly. You traded him for, not Carson Kelly. It was Carson Kelly. Carson Kelly. You traded him in Arizona. That was part of the Goldschmidt trade. Okay. Ivan Herrera, though, he wasn't ready to go. Like, you're right. Then now that's Wilson Contreras, you give him all this money, apparently he can't catch.
And Herrera's ready to go.
Yeah. I get it. Sometimes it's
good. He's pretty good.
Why do the Cardinals why do they have to spend $75 million on Sonny Gray? You don't have a number one. So that's kind of what I'm referring to. There's exceptions.
Yeah.
There's exceptions.
I'm just saying, I think that both statements can be true.
He got 5 and a 6.
Yeah.
What's that?
They said, no, you said they don't have a number one. Marcy said, or 2 or 3 or 4.
I mean, at this point, that's fair. That's fair. All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jeremy Rutherford will join us next. We'll talk to him about the Matt Kessel contract and much more on the Blues here next on 101 ESPN.
March is a critical time to check your home's windows. If yours are cracked, leaking, won't open or stay open, now's the time to call Window Nation. You can buy 2 windows and get 2 free windows, plus put 0 down, 0 interest, and make 0 payments for 24 months. Yes, that's 24 months. Plus, you get a pair of Cardinals tickets with the purchase of a house of windows. Those two for 2 windows, buy 2, get 2 free. They can be installed in 1 day or less. Window Nation windows also come with a lifetime warranty with proven quality and service. It's no wonder why thousands of homeowners have trusted Window Nation for their homes, and you can too. Get a free, no obligation quote now. It's easy. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule. They have installed over 200,000 windows just last year with a 96% satisfaction rate, making them one of the top companies in the country. They measure the window 3 times to ensure the proper fit, and they will give you a lifetime warranty on the entire window, including the glass. Again, reach out to them today, 866-90NATION, or go online at windownation.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Blues signed defenseman Matthew Kessel to a 2-year, one-way contract extension worth $1.6 million. The Blues will take on the Los Angeles Kings tonight. Pregame starts at 5:30. Puck drop is at 6:30, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Coming up next, we'll have Jeremy Rutherford joining the show, our Blues insider from The Athletic. We'll talk about tonight's game against the Kings, as well as Matthew Kessel's contract extension. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
News, notes, and nuggets. It's time for the Rutherford Report with our Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford. Brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's bring in our guy from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at JP Rutherford, if you want to give him a follow on Twitter. Covers the Blues, does a tremendous job. JR, how are you?
What's up, boys? Yeah, more Twitter followers so I can brag to my kids. Please.
There you go. Yeah, that's how they judge you these days, so might as well. Hey, nice deal for Matthew Kessel. Something that's certainly not going to break the bank for the Blues, but a great reward for a young man who's played well. Why the extension now, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think they, like Riv said earlier, they want to get their house in order. You know, I do agree that there's going to be changes this offseason. At least you think that there will be. And I think Kessel, in just 25 games, that's what's the most remarkable part about this, has proven himself. I know he's a fifth-round pick, and you don't see too many fifth-round picks, you know, get kind of the time and the top four duty and relied upon as much as he has early on in his career, but he's earned it, and he's shown that he deserves it. And so, yeah, you get him locked in on a one-way deal. He likes that, and you get him for 2 years at a good price. So a good deal all around.
JR, that leads me right to my next question. Anthony kind of had this one for me earlier, too, is, you know, what does this decor now look like next year, training camp time?
Yeah, Riv, one thing that sticks out in my mind is at the end of last season when we interviewed Doug Armstrong and Craig Berube, one thing that Doug Armstrong said was, hey, listen, we're going to come back with what we think is going to be the same decor. And if they don't get the job done next year, I can guarantee you we will not be coming back with the same decor. That's not to say they haven't gotten the job done. They've been better overall as a group this season than last year. I think we can all agree with that statement. But I think it just gets to a point where there needs to be some turnover. The Blues have entered this retool stage. You've brought in a Perinovich. Now you're bringing in a Kessel. You got some other guys. Are you going to work Tyler Tucker more in next year? We'll see. But I think there just has to be turnover with that top four. So what's it going to look like? I don't know. I mean, I think that Parayko will be there. I think that Leddy would be there. But I think you'd probably have to have some change with that second pair. Do they go back to Torrey Krug and revisit that trade option? We'll see it when this offseason gets underway.
JR, we're starting to see a little bit of the youth movement. You got some guys been called up and some guys, obviously Matthew Kessel getting the contract. Are we going to see that shift here as we get to the last 20 or so games?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I don't know how much more we'll see, but I'll say this. Like, you know, I know that they wanted to keep Zach Bolduc and Zach Dean in the minors their first year of pro, let them get that transition. But here we are. You know, we've seen Zach Bolduc for a few weeks now, and I like what I've seen. I really have. I'm sure he's got some work to do, but I like what I've seen so far. And I think we'll get a chance to see Zach Dean maybe as early as this weekend. He's not going to play tonight. Drew Bannister did say he wanted to get him a couple practices. He just got called up, flew home with the team after Boston. Also, you got to reward the Blues after the way they played in Boston, so they're going to keep the same guys in there. So we'll continue to see Kessel. We'll continue to see Bolduc. And we'll see Dean at some point. But after that, I just don't know who's ready for a look-see until we get news on Jimmy Snuggerud.
JR, when it comes to Drew Bannister, he's in a tough spot. We were having this conversation yesterday. Jamie really illustrated this well. He's got young guys now that are coming up. maybe the front office wants to take a look at some of these young guys, but Drew Bannister is also trying to fight for the full-time job. How difficult will it be for Drew Bannister to remove the interim tag and become the full-time coach while also trying to develop some of these young guys?
Super tough job, and I honestly don't think that enough has been made of that. I remember when I interviewed Craig Berube a couple days after he got let go, I said, hey, Craig, how tough was that? The win now / play for the future. He said extremely tough. I don't know if you can do it. It's a hard proposition. Well, now Drew Bannister is in that situation, only I think things are even a little bit stiffer because now, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs, but you win tonight, you're 6 points behind what could be a second wild card. There is still that chance. And in the meantime, you're playing the Buldukes, you're playing the Kessels, you're going to see Dean in there. So, I'm not saying that the Blues are full bore, let's make the playoffs, because obviously they're playing these young guys. But, I think Drew Bannister's got a tough job. In the meantime, the only thing that's going to keep him the head coach of the St. Louis Blues is to continue to show progress and win hockey games. And, that's tough to do down the stretch here. So I don't envy the position that he's in, but this is why these guys are in the business they are.
JR, speaking of Drew Bannister, he mixed up the lineup the other night in Boston, moved Braden Shen to left wing with the Thomas and Kyrou pair, and then put old Bucci back at center ice for his 500th game. What'd you think of Bucci at center ice?
Yeah, not bad. I think long term, it's probably not the answer, but I think Drew Bannister was in a spot where, what do you do? This team just could not score 5-on-5. They got that empty netter from Toropchenko in the third period. So, Riv, that stat is still going. That's
it's still holding.
10 games now with 3 empty netters in the third period. Nothing other than those empty netters in the third period for the St. Louis Blues. So, they're going to stick with those lines at least at the start tonight. They mixed it up, and Buchnevich is a guy who he's versatile, so he could play in the middle. I think Shen looked good on the left wing. I think Bolduc is a guy, we saw him get the shot off the other night. So I think they're just trying to throw him out there and see what happens, and they liked what they saw the other night, so they're going to come back with it.
JR, realistically, are they able to catch the Golden Knights or the Predators?
Well, yeah, so here's the deal. 8 points behind each of them. L.A. has a game in hand on the Blues. The Blues are even with Vegas in terms of games. But the tough part is, Carey, you look in recent years, and teams have gone through a stretch of 8-2, 7-3, and you make up a point or two. So how do you make up 8 points with 17 games left? 11 of the 17 are at home, 11 home, 6 away. And then also of the 17, 7 of them are against playoff teams. 10 of them are against non-playoff teams. So however you want to look at that, the Blues have struggled against lesser teams, so maybe that doesn't even help you. Vegas hasn't been as good as they want to be, but they've ramped up at the trade deadline in terms of who they added. So I think personally that it's going to be extremely difficult to catch these teams in just 17 games. But, you win a game tonight and you can hear your voice behind them not too far in the distance. So I think that the Blues still have a shot, albeit a long shot.
Jared, great stuff, man. We appreciate all that you do, and thanks for all your coverage last week when it came to the trade deadline as well, even though you didn't get anything done.
Yeah, not too much to write about there, and fun to hang out with the Riv for a few days on the road there, although I didn't see him too much.
No.
Yeah, his brother in town,
It's a big city, JR.
He's hanging out with Charles Barkley.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah, big city. I just didn't get the invite to any of the spots that he hit in that big city.
It was couples only, so sorry about that.
Unbelievable.
I could have found somebody. Well, maybe not.
Go to commercial.
All right, that was Jeremy Rutherford. He's going to go right now. See you, buddy.
Good luck.
He hung up and disappeared. Tell him good luck. Yep. All right. Follow our guy Jeremy Rutherford on Twitter at JP Rutherford. It's Fastline on 101 at ESPN. We got Prove Me Wrong next. So you got to Prove Me Wrong statement. Send it into the Air Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646. Prove Me Wrong next.
Selling your home can be a stressful process. You may not know what to list your home for. You may not know when to list it. And you may not be aware of things that are available for you in order to get you to the closing table. This is why you choose Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has plenty of experience, and that's the one thing about Gloria. She gets you to the closing table. She also has the buyers. She's got a database with thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. It drives a lot more traffic to your listing, and hopefully at that point, multiple offers, ultimately more money in your pocket, which is always a great thing. She also has several different options available, and the one option I like is guaranteed sales. That's where Gloria will sell your home at the agreed upon price, or she buys it herself and she guarantees all of that in handwriting. So if you're looking to sell your home and you want to sell it fast and for the most money, call my friend Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit gloriasthebuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date.
I always enjoy going down to the Missouri Athletic Club. Got my workout in fact, today. They got great food down there, too, whether you're having lunch or dinner. I've had various date nights at the Missouri Athletic Club with my wife, where we've gone and done like the brunches for Mother's Day or Father's Day and taking the whole family down there. The Missouri Athletic Club, they do it right. And the West Clubhouse, certainly great for kind of a day-to-day stuff, like I said, with working out or prepping for the show. But when it comes to the downtown location, great for Cardinals games. Great for, going down there, getting a bite to eat, staying down there at the hotel, or, the various events that they have. That's my MAC. That's the Missouri Athletic Club.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, time to play Prove Me Wrong here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, one of our favorites. You text in a statement that either Carey, Jamie, or I need to prove wrong, and then it all comes down to the judge, who is Andrew Marsh. Marsh, what do we got for our first case?
All right. From the 636, Prove Me Wrong. Carey Davis and me, Marsh, are going to be looking forward to the NFL draft by week 10.
What? I mean, Marsh, I'll speak for me first. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed Russell Wilson. He is going to be a future Hall of Famer. Have you seen that running game? Najee Harris has over 1,000 yards every single season that he's played. George Pickens, we got rid of Deontay Johnson. Okay, Pat Freiermuth, Arthur Smith, you said it earlier, loves the tight ends. He loves to throw. He's going to find this tight end be wide open.
Who doesn't?
You got George Pickens. Who doesn't, right? George Pickens is stellar on offense. Minka Fitzpatrick healthy. Cameron Hayward healthy. They got a guy, his brother was really good. JJ, I can't think of his name. What? TJ, who is outstanding. Defensive player of the year in the past and probably could have won it again. He is a stellar pass rusher coming off the edge. You talked about the Falcons not having a pass rusher. Guess what? The Steelers got one. So therefore, what do you want? No. 12-5 AFC North champs making moves, making it happen. Let's ride.
Yeah, no.
Couple problems in your statement, sir. You used a couple of real triggered words, which are Russell Wilson, Arthur Smith, and then let's ride.
Yeah, the let's ride was kind of the cherry on top that nobody wanted.
I could have let the 12-5 thing go. I could have left that, but yeah, the let's ride. I mean, you solidified your fate on that one.
As soon as he said it, I was like, oh no. And he's Russell Wilson, Hall of Famer. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you're Hall of Famer.
Keep paddling, Carey.
I'm swimming. By myself.
This one might be a tough one. From the 618, Prove Me Wrong. Joel Hofer is a starter for 50% of the NHL.
Okay. All right, so let's look at the NHL overall. And you have to imagine that each team has their Joel Hofer, meaning their starter. And when you look at some of these teams even have two starters. Look at the Boston Bruins. They got two 1A goaltenders. Obviously, he wouldn't be starting there. Would he be starting in Florida? Florida has two 1A goaltenders. Bobrovsky being the first one, maybe the other guy 1B, but they wouldn't require. The Rangers have Shesterkin. The Flyers have Urson. The Lightning have Vasilevsky. You're welcome. Like, each team has a guy, and their guy is comparable, if not better, than Joel Hofer. Now, Joel Hofer's having a really good first season with the Blues. In fact, he's been awesome for Jordan Binnington, and Binnington's been awesome for Joel Hofer. They're a great tandem together. But let's not kid ourselves. 50% of the NHL, that's a lot of teams. And when I go through the list here, each team has a starter. So for the 4 teams or 5 teams that could use a goalie right now, that's not 50%. So Joel Hofer will get there to where 80%, maybe 90% want him as their starter, but he's not there yet.
I like that you brought in math, right?
There you go.
Nice job,
math.
Jamie.
He is only a rookie, too, so let's slow things down, but he is a great goaltender.
He is a fantastic goaltender.
From the 618, Prove Me Wrong. The Cardinal way is a thing of the past.
What? How can you say the Cardinal way is a thing of the past? I mean, the Cardinal way is more of a mantra of playing a hard 9, making sure that, Jamie, you're doing things the right way.
Anthony, this might help you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I was feeling a little naked on the face there.
Are they going to fit?
You know they'll fit.
Hey, all that's missing is the mustache.
How can you say the Cardinal way is done when you're bringing in guys like Lance Lynn and Matt Carpenter? Yeah. Making sure that you're performing and doing things the right way every single day. That is
the Cardinal way.
The Cardinal way. Always
Cardinal
showing
way.
The young guys how to do it, too.
Yeah.
The Cardinal way, yeah, sure, they got away from it a little bit. Pardon the pun. But they're bringing it back because they lost that way a year ago. Do you know why they lost that way a year ago, Carey?
Do tell.
Because Nolan Arenado grew up in the Rocky way. And Paul Goldschmidt grew up in the Diamondback
Yes,
way.
he did.
That's why they got away from it a year ago.
What'd you call him?
The Diamondback way.
Yeah, I didn't call him Goldie Dad. Yeah, now if it's Aaron Rodgers, it's a different story. But when it comes to the this year's Cardinals team, boy, they ensure that they have that right way of doing things, playing a hard nine, bunting people over, just bunting in general, using the sack fly to their advantage, playing baseball the right way, gentlemen. That's what the Cardinal way is all about.
I love it.
He put on the glasses and went to work.
Yeah, thanks.
There you go.
Gave us a hard nine.
Works.
Yeah, he did.
All I really said was Cardinal way about 67 times.
That's all you have to say.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And it is not lost.
No, not one bit,
Not on
Carey.
us.
Not on our watch.
No.
From the 636, prove me wrong. Peanut butter crunch is better than the original Captain Crunch.
Oh, that's absurd. I mean, now if you would have said crunch berries, I would probably have, sided with you. But there is nothing better than Captain Crunch, not Captain Crunch, when it gets stuck in your teeth and you can taste that good sweetness for hours.
Tears the roof of
You
your
don't
mouth
want to
apart.
you tell just there. It's there. And then you get to drink the milk. I don't want to drink peanut butter milk. I want to drink Captain Crunch milk. There's nothing greater than that. So, yeah, you're wrong.
Captain Crunch is
Captain Crunch.
amazing.
Crunch is personally responsible for my mouth bleeding at least 1,200 times.
From the 314, prove me wrong. Because of injuries and how the Cardinals have handled legacy players, Matt Carpenter will start a game in the outfield this year.
There's no way. How can you do that? Honestly, I know we love Matt Carpenter, and I know that he's a Cardinal guy. He might be a Cardinal Hall of Famer at one point, but if you want to be taken seriously and you already have a competition out in the outfield, we already talked about Alec Burleson doesn't get around as good as he probably should. No offense to Matt Carpenter, but there's no way he's getting around the way we need him to out in the outfield either. You have able bodies out there. You've got younger bodies. You've got position-specific bodies out there right now. Matt Carpenter plays second, third base, a little bit of shortstop, but I'm not putting him in the outfield. That's just too much at this point. And again, you're trying to win games. Matt Carpenter knows he's not expected to be in the outfield. Quite honestly, Matt Carpenter would probably turn it down and say, guys, no, I'm not doing that. The nostalgia aside, we need to win baseball games. So, yeah, I don't think we see Matt Carpenter in the outfield ever.
I agree. Here's a good one from the 314. Prove me wrong. We need to stay in daylight savings time and never go back.
I think the farmers would disagree with this. I mean, when you're talking about the tremendous men and women that provide the food for our nation, our great nation.
Yeah.
We are talking about people who need the daylight savings time, all right?
Yeah.
We've got crops to worry about. We've got our well-being, our livelihood.
It's based on that.
Is based on the daylight savings times. Sure, is it nice to have a little more daylight at the end of the day, especially timed right now? Absolutely, Jamie.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a small sacrifice that we have to make to have our corn, our radishes,
Yes.
our apples, our oranges, our peaches, our bananas,
Yes. Here.
cabbage, lettuce, everything.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Definitely.
Anthony, if I could add one thing, too.
Please.
With the way they shift it back and forth, in the wintertime, it's also much easier to get your children to bed because you're like, hey, you go to bed when it's dark.
There you go.
It gets dark early. The kids go to bed earlier. That means
Summertime.
a little more bourbon time, means a little more alone time with the missus. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All that.
So to me, it's essential for the farmers. How do you think we get so many kids out in the country? The farmers know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As
It's a necessity.
As a parent of 3 under
Yeah.
7 and under, Jamie, you speak the truth.
There you go.
You're welcome.
We rest our case.
How am I going to argue with that?
Right?
I don't have anything. I don't have any children. I'm not a farmer. But my goodness, you convinced me.
Yeah. Thanks, Marsh.
All right, last one here. Prove me wrong. The Matt Kessel signing is about the Blues saving cap space to eat a big contract among defensemen, trade draft capital for a big fish.
No, it's not at all. Look, Matthew Kessel earned his contract. We just had Jeremy Rutherford on. He said, look, at his first 25 games, this kid has earned it every bit. We talked earlier about his first game is against Crosby, Malkin. He He plays the last game against Pasternak, Marchand. His reward for being a good player has been playing against the top guys every single night. And in doing so, he's proved to the organization and probably other teams too around the league that this guy's an NHL defenseman. So although he comes in at a very good cap hit, I don't think it necessarily means you're moving on from one of your top 4 defensemen. He's played the 23 games so far. He hasn't proven he can play 80 as a top 4 defenseman. So is he an NHL defenseman? Yes, but I don't think at this point he's moving anybody out of their spot. So this signing to me was just Doug Armstrong recognizing that this is an NHL defenseman. You get him at a really good price, you get him for a couple of years, and it helps your team.
Preach. All right.
You're about to move on without getting an answer.
Are you kidding me? I already knew.
Unbelievable.
I can tell you this. I can tell you this from experience. Once the gavel goes down, that's over.
That's right.
That's the
right. That's right.
Don't ask me how I know.
All right. I don't know anything about that either, which is probably a good thing.
Probably,
So I'll take your word for it.
If you were there.
Oh, yeah. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Gauntlet next.
Gentlemen, I absolutely love FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book, and FanDuel has so many awesome ways that you can bet the NBA. And the NBA, the action's heating up. We're getting towards the end of the season. It's always fun to pick a prop bet or pick a team, pick the underdog, whatever it is. But it's also fun for new customers. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So, Carey, all that means is $200 if your bet wins.
J-Man, you can bet on any NBA with a wide range of type of bets, including the quick bets, the live same-game parlays, the player props, and so much more. You want to take the Warriors versus the Dallas Mavericks tonight, maybe Brandon Pajemski, to go over in points, 10.5. I think he should do that. Trace Jackson Davis to go under in rebounds. Maybe see how much time he plays, but he's getting more time. So those are a couple of bets. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/fast to make your first bet a layup.
Again, that is FanDuel.com/fast in order to play at FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 to ESPN 403. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. And we welcome in Jeff, who is a first-timer, I'm hearing. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on?
Not much. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you joining us. Thanks for playing.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
You got it. All right, so would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me in the first round of the Gauntlet?
Let's go with Carey.
Okay, well, this will be easy because Carey's not here, so we'll just wave him down and send him right to the cone of silence then. So go ahead, Jeff, tell Marsh to spin the wheel. We'll find out what category you get.
Let's spin that wheel.
What are you hoping for, Jeff?
Probably random. I think baseball will be fine.
Baseball or random? Let's see what you get. Marsh, what is it?
We have hockey today.
Oh, boy. All right.
We must have thought it was Anthony.
Gets confused sometimes. Okay, so, Jeff, you're going to get 4 hockey questions. Carey is going to get the same 4 hockey questions. Each question, Jamie, is worth
2 points.
What if Jeff or Carey ask for the options?
Oh, then it's only 1 point.
What if they completely miss on the question altogether? They get it wrong.
0.
There you go. There's your rules. Here we go. Jeff, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right, question 1. Name the last team Phil Kessel played for. Name the last team that Phil Kessel played for.
I don't bounce around there. Give me the options.
The Vegas Golden Knights, the Arizona Coyotes, or the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Let's go with the Coyotes.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
All right, question 2. When the Rangers won their last Stanley Cup in 1994, which team did they defeat in 7 games?
Oh, I think it was Vancouver, because didn't they start a riot and burn the place down? So I'll go with the Canucks.
You make Canada sound terrible like that, Jeff.
Sorry, sir.
All right, question number 3. Which former Blues head coach won the Stanley Cup as the Rangers head coach that season?
Oh, geez, you got to bring him up, Mike Keenan.
Seriously, Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Oh, yeah.
All right, last question for you, Jeff. Which team drafted Alexander Steen in the first round of the 2002 NHL draft?
I know we got him from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Go Toronto.
Final answer?
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring back Carey from the cone of silence. Jeff, how you feeling?
I don't know. Well, let's hope I did my best there.
We'll find out. Okay, sounds good. Carey's making his way in from the cone of silence right now. He's got his Pittsburgh Steelers shirt on. He's feeling pretty good about those Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Is that team issued, by the way?
No, I actually bought this.
You bought that?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
I got.
They got no respect, Carey. They should be sending you a bag of stuff every year.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Or you just go bug the trainers like I do.
Hey,
what you guys got over there?
What do you got new?
You got a new crop there, huh?
Yeah.
What about last year's stuff? Still got that?
Still got it?
Don't waste it. Just give it to me.
All right. Enough of this small talk, Carey.
Alrighty.
You got hockey today. Jamie, tell him.
Oh, you better pack lunch.
I better.
Carey, question number 1. Name the last team Phil Kessel played for.
The Vegas Golden Knights. Final answer.
Question 2. When the Rangers won their last Stanley Cup in 1994, which team did they defeat in 7 games?
Give me the options.
Was it the Chicago Blackhawks, the Vancouver Canucks, or the Dallas Stars?
Dallas Stars. Final answer.
Question number 3. Which former Blues head coach won the Stanley Cup as the Rangers head coach that season?
Is it Jamie's favorite coach? Mike Keenan. Final answer?
Wow. Final answer.
Okay.
That's a total guess, but I feel like that's right.
Question number 4.
Could be wrong.
Which team drafted Alexander Steen in the first round of the 2002 NHL draft?
Options.
The Montreal Canadiens, the Boston Bruins, or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
I'll go Maple Leafs. Final answer.
Okay.
All right.
Well, okay. Not great.
Let's go over these. Question number 1. Name the last team Phil Kessel played for. Jeff, with the options, you said the Arizona Coyotes. Carey, without the options, you went with the Vegas Golden Knights. Correct answer is...
The Vegas Golden Knights.
Carey's up 2-0 on Jeff. Question 2. When the Rangers won their last Stanley Cup in 1994, which team did they defeat in 7 games? Jeff, you said the Canucks. Carey, you said the Stars. Correct answer is...
It is the Vancouver Canucks.
Jeff did not need the options. So we have a 2-2 tie.
Thanks.
Which former Blues head coach won the Stanley Cup as the Rangers head coach that season? Carey, you said Mike Keenan. Jeff, you said Mike Keenan. Correct answer is...
No, I'm not saying it.
Correct answer is...
It is Jamie's favorite coach, Mike Keenan.
Mike Keenan.
I'm not saying it.
Neither of you needed the options. We have a 4-4 tie. Final question.
I don't like it. I don't like it here.
Which team drafted Alexander Steen in the first round of the 2002 NHL draft? Carey, you went with the Maple Leafs. Jeff, you went with the Maple Leafs. You see where this is going. Correct answer is...
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's right. But Jeff didn't need the options. Jeff.
You have chosen wisely.
Jeff wins today 6-5 in an absolute barn burner. A shootout
for
today.
the hockey.
Carey, you did quite well. Jeff did better, though.
Good job.
Yeah, Jeff, nice job, man. First time. You didn't want hockey necessarily, and you did well, though. Congrats.
I appreciate it. Carey, thank you. Great job, guy.
Good job.
All right, we'll call you tomorrow, Jeff.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
There you go. That Carey, you can't be disappointed with that. That was really good. You got 2 without the options.
Yeah.
And the other 2, he had the Maple Leafs question.
Up short. Gosh darn it.
You did well.
You did good, young grasshopper.
Thank you, sir.
You did. Absolutely.
Fighting my butt off. Not enough. What's my record in hockey? Am I like 0-3?
Let's not talk about it.
Let's see.
You just had a
Carey,
real good one.
now you are 1-2.
There you go. That's not so bad.
It's not bad.
All right. Not terrible.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It was a good fight.
It absolutely was. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Has the NFC raised the floor after the moves it made over the last couple of days here? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, it's just a fact that as you get older, things change. And sometimes the worst part of it is you don't know exactly what's changing or how to fix it. So for me, I was trying to get back in shape, trying to lose weight. I was on my way, but there were still some snags, didn't feel quite the right way. And Mentality called me and said, hey, come by and talk to our board-certified physicians. I did. It was the greatest thing ever. Changed my life. Went in there, talked to them. First of all, unbelievable team of people over at Mentality. And when all was said and done, they did a full blood panel on me, found out that I was low in testosterone, which is normal for people who are getting older, and deficient in other vitamins. And after visiting Mentality, who I visit weekly now, everything has changed for me.
They stay on top of things, too. They take your blood work consistently to make sure there's nothing else going on. So it's kind of like getting a physical a lot, but they want to make sure that what supplements that you're using from Mentality is working, and it's working properly within your body. They cover that aspect of it, but when it comes to, like you were saying, Jamie, having that energy, that motivation, that drive that you didn't have before, feeling like you can, go throughout the course of the day and handle everything you need to do and still do it well, Mentality's help with that as well. So if you want to feel the same way Jamie and I do, and you're tired of going to like the supplement route and spending money that's not working, guessing, take the guesswork out of it. Head down to Chesterfield or South County. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. Mentality will love to hear that. Get on their program and start feeling great again. Or you can visit them at lowtusa.com. The AFC has been the dominant conference in the NFL because they've got the more dominant quarterbacks, especially when you have Patrick Mahomes. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The question is, has the NFC raised the floor? Doesn't have the same firepower that the AFC has. Again, the AFC's got Patrick Mahomes. They got Joe Burrow. They got Josh Allen. They've got now C.J. Stroud. They've got Lamar Jackson. They got Justin Herbert. They're loaded. Like I said, they're loaded in most areas. Aaron Rodgers, if he comes back from the Achilles injury. They got him too. But the NFC guys, with the way that free agency has kind of panned out, the Eagles had a rough end of the season last year. But they've reloaded with a couple of moves. The Buccaneers are at least running it back with Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield, two guys that helped lead them to the divisional round last year. The Lions are expected to be good. The Packers finished the season on a high note. They're going to be tough. The Rams prove that as long as they have Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, they're at least going to be competitive.
And Puka.
And Puka Nacua.
That guy, man.
No kidding.
Special.
49ers go to the Super Bowl last year. The Falcons add Kirk Cousins to a team that last year won 7 games with no quarterback. So,
You're excited.
Do you think that? You like that?
You like that?
Has the NFC raised the floor for you guys? Have they? They can't match the AFC right now, but have they at least raised the floor?
So initially, I thought they had, but now, when I look at it, they just kind of shuffled the deck within the conference, because the Vikings had Kirk Cousins, and without him for most of the season, they were a 7-win team. The Falcons were a 7-win team, but now they have Kirk Cousins. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the shell game. Just like follow the shell.
Right.
Like, they moved some things around, but I don't know if anybody really went out and got better.
So they just reshuffle things.
Yeah, like originally when I thought about it, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, There's some moves to be made here. Like the NFC's not the quarterback situation in the NFC. Like, but they just move some pieces around. Baker's going back to Tampa, completely overpaid, but he's going back to Tampa. Congratulations to you, Shaky Bakey. I wish you all the best. Matthew Stafford, you named it off here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. Marsh, objectively speaking, the Vikings have Justin Jefferson. They have T.J. Hawkinson. They're loaded, right? They didn't have a running game last year, but now they had Aaron Jones. Objectively speaking, do you think Minnesota has a similar roster to Atlanta, or would you say that Atlanta has more upside?
Like this upcoming season?
Yeah.
Oh, Atlanta, for sure. They're in an easier division because the Packers...
Regardless of that, let's just talk about the roster.
We're talking about the roster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You're going to have a better quarterback, that's for sure.
I think that the weapons on the Vikings are a bit more established than the weapons on the Falcons, but I don't think that the Falcons, like, their weapons aren't bad by any means. Like, they're good players, and I think with the right coaching and the right system, they can get the most out of those players. Like, Kyle Pitts has been a ghost for the amount of time he's been in the NFL. Like, if you bring in the right coach and the right system and the right quarterback, perhaps you can unlock something that you thought you were going to get a few years ago.
I think that's the team we're kind of talking about, because you're right. Kirk Cousins just went from Minnesota to Atlanta, but is he more dangerous on that team? Does he raise the floor for that team? Because you do have a running game. You do have weapons, and that defense is better. Yeah. If you add a pass rusher in the draft, if they pick 8, they don't need a QB now.
Yeah. They
don't need a wide receiver. They signed Darnell Mooney to oppose Drake London. If they get they get Dallas Turner, the Alabama pass rusher, maybe that upgrades things. So I think that's kind of what we're talking about. Are they more of a legitimate threat?
I think I'm looking at the Detroit Lions and what they did in free agency, and I think they may be a team when you're looking at next year. They traded for Carlton Davis, the DB from Tampa Bay. They re-signed Emmanuel Mosley, who missed some time last year and then the year before where he tore his ACL. And he was playing really, really well when he was with the 49ers a couple of years ago before he tore his ACL. So him coming back and being healthy, I think, will help that team as well. Hopefully, Jamison Williams will have an entire offseason training camp and be able to start the season off and be ready to roll when the beginning of the season starts. Last year, obviously, the suspension, and then the year before coming off of a torn ACL. So I think that's a team that when you're looking at the NFC side of it, and they were in the NFC Championship game, they probably should have won that game in San Francisco. So I think that's a team looking at for 2024 is going to be a really good team in the NFC.
Yeah, baby. Hear me roar. My Lions. Yeah.
They do, though. The NFC overall, they need to hit on, like, this is a big, if you're looking at the NFC, this is a big year for the Bears. They have to either hit on Justin Fields. I don't think they're going to keep him. Or obviously they have to hit on Caleb Williams. If you look at the AFC is where all the young quarterbacks are. When the Bengals selected number 1 overall, they didn't miss with Joe Burrow.
No.
Even the Dolphins and Chargers, when they had the back-to-back selections, Tua has panned out. Justin Herbert has panned out. The Texans now go from last place to a division winner and a playoff winner with C.J. Stroud. The AFC has been able to hit on their young quarterbacks. The NFC has not. The NFC's gotten older at the position. Matthew Stafford is still older. Jared Goff, they swap positions, but he's not a young quarterback anymore. Love, the Packers hit on him. He's been in the league for a couple of years now. So when you look at like the Bears or any team, I'm trying to think, the Washington Commanders, if those teams hit on the quarterbacks, then maybe the whole fate of the conference starts to shift a little bit.
I was going to say that too, and I forgot about the Commanders, but I was originally going to start with the Bears, but now throw the Commanders in that mix as well. Like, if they figure out their quarterback position, that could be the tipping point right there. That could be the one that separates or that makes the NFC a more formidable conference, even though you have all those guys in the AFC. It really is interesting to see how this has played out. Because when you go through the rosters in the AFC, you're right, Anthony, it's all young quarterbacks. Like, how bad was the AFC for how long to get all these great quarterbacks? Because they had to have had high picks.
Yeah. But they cashed. Like
Yeah, they did.
You know, the Panthers, and the jury's still out on Bryce Young, but the Panthers didn't cash on Bryce Young. The Giants, when they selected Daniel Jones, they haven't cashed on him. The Eagles, they thought they had their quarterback in Carson Wentz. It turns out Jalen Hurts was the guy in the second round. You go through the NFC teams.
Never had the right quarterback.
The Falcons, they never.
Dallas, they hit on their quarterback-ish.
He's going to get paid.
Again,
yeah. They did.
I'm interested to see
the Niners. The Niners didn't hit on their.
Where does Arizona draft this year?
They're fifth. The fourth or fifth.
I'm interested to see what they do. Because Kyler Murray just has not been the guy for them.
They're not drafting a quarterback.
I bet you they don't. Yeah.
They're not drafting a quarterback.
I think they're all in still on him. They gave him that contract.
Buddy.
I know. I'm just saying.
I said it how many years ago? I said, I don't see this. I just don't see it. Never mind his style of play. That's fine. To me, it was the way he interacts with his teammates. Every interaction that you see him on camera with, it's like he's disgusted with them or they don't want to talk to him. They walk away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Maybe he is disgusted with them.
Well, they walk away from him, though, too. Like, from what I gather, and then you hear the rumors come out about he's the Johnny Manziel of the Arizona Cardinals where they got to force him to watch the iPad.
At least he's, like in his room playing video games.
And not out running the streets. I mean, come on, give him credit.
Manziel may not have been in the same
results
city.
aren't much better, though, boys.
He's but I think Kyler Murray is probably a little bit different. He's been a superstar.
Johnny Manziel was terrible
for a long time. Like he was Kyler Murray.
Where superstar? Where?
No. In his upbringing, like
in his head.
No.
Oh.
I was listening to Johnny Manziel, and Johnny was giving the top high school quarterbacks ever, in his opinion, in Texas. Yeah, Kyler Murray, number one. Kyler Murray was a first-round draft pick in baseball as well. Yeah. He was a kid that has so much talent and, left Texas A&M.
And make
him a good player. I'm talking about his mindset, like where he is mentally. Like some people, we talk about him, the guys that walk around with blinders on. He's one of those
guys. You
guys.
had to put in to be an NFL player. I can't believe I'm listening to you defend this guy who doesn't work.
I'm not defending him. I'm trying to give you an answer.
Kids to not work hard is what you're saying. If you're good, you don't have to work hard.
That's kind of how that works sometimes. But that doesn't make it right.
Wow.
If you've seen some of those guys that are so talented, you're like, you're just not going to work hard? No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. But say what you want. Whatever you want about the guy, his upbringing, all this. I don't care. He's not, to me, a difference maker in the NFL.
Well, they signed him to a contract that they are not going to get out of.
Daniel Jones got signed, too.
Wow. Yeah. They're not getting out of that one either. Only the Denver Broncos are willing to take $85 million in dead money.
How bad of a guy do you have to be, by the way, to have the team say, we'll pay $38 million to make
you to go away?
Yeah. This is the same team that signed Brock Osweiler without sitting down with him.
Remember that?
Did they? I don't remember that.
The lockout. They're like,
oh, yes.
You know what? You seem fine.
You seem like a good guy.
They gave him like 70-something million.
You're 6'8", so you probably can play quarterback.
They've had some problems there, and they've won a Super Bowl fairly recently.
That's because they had one of the greatest quarterback ever on their roster,
and one of the best defenses in the last 15 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Ability.
Yeah.
Your team wanted him though.
Who, Russell?
What?
How's your quarterback situation going, Marshall?
Oh, dang. Here we go.
Who would you rather have, Russ at this point or Darnold? That's kind of a...
Well, hold on a second. I might have a statistic for you.
You know what?
When's the last time he started a game?
I would actually rather have Russ.
Did he start week 7?
Because at least
18?
Russ has done it before.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold has never done it.
Listen to these statistics. Sam Darnold in 4 games versus the Bears, Lions, and Packers. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 942 passing yards, and a 110.42 passer rating. He's 2-0 against the Lions, 0-1 against the Bears. Must have been a tough game. And somehow lost 38-44 to Green Bay despite throwing 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 341 yards. And that is according
last
to
year?
No, that's just his career.
You didn't just cherry pick last year. You cherry picked career.
We got to look at a body of work here.
Just 4 games
Darnold
in the
didn't play
AFC
last year
North.
that much.
I was just wondering.
Yeah. By the
You
way,
got to beat the teams in your division, right?
He's 2-2.
Just get in.
Go get him.
By the way, Calvin Ridley just signed with the Titans.
I saw that.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
4 years,
4-year
92.
deal. Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
I mean, it is.
Don't bet on
Never
it.
mind.
Go for it.
I was going to say, I think it's legal down there.
In Tennessee?
You say it,
Yeah.
though. It's a gamble.
Yeah. It is a gamble.
It's a fast lane on
Riverboat gamblers.
There you go.
There you go. Yep. It's fast lane on 101 ESPN. We've got the Sports Six Pack coming up. So if you got a question for us, leave it at the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Sports Six Pack next.
Boys, we were talking earlier about the NBA and FanDuel and so many great ways to bet the NBA and to use FanDuel. Well, how about this? You can bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel every Thursday with TNT Thursdays. Doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel either, or if you already have an account. Either way, you can benefit from this. You'll get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay doesn't win on any NBA on TNT game.
Yeah, Jamie, NBA same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance to score a bigger payday. However you want to play, just head to FanDuel.com/fast to bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay with TNT Thursdays.
Yeah,
Anthony.
I mean, you got the same game parlays. You've got the TNT games that you're going to absolutely love. You've got the tournament starting too. So if you're an NBA fan, you're a basketball fan overall, FanDuel's got it all for you. Again, FanDuel.com/fast if you want to play with FanDuel, the official sports book partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues signed defenseman Matthew Kessel to a 2-year, one-way contract extension worth $1.6 million. We touched on that with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Blues will take on the Los Angeles Kings tonight. Pregame starts right here on 101 ESPN at 5:30. Puck drop is at 6:30. The Cardinals tied with the Twins earlier today in spring training, 1-1. Zach Thompson threw 4 innings, gave up 0 runs, walked 1, and struck out 5. Victor Scott went 1 for 3. Alec Burleson went 1 for 3, and so did Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson also hit a home run today. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question, send it our way to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with the questions for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
All right, from the Snake Pit, we'll go to Bach. Jamie, what is the worst injury you played through? We know that CD has had a doozy of injuries as well.
A couple of them that really sucked, I'll tell you that much, was tore my knee, the MCL, and it was at a point where I couldn't make it any worse. It was just about pain tolerance. And so you slap a knee brace on and you try to gut it out as long as you possibly can. And it stinks. I mean, you know, you're getting needles in there and you're trying to make the pain go away. And then in the middle of the night, the pain comes back because the needle's no longer working. And it doesn't feel really good. It's a tough time. Damn. So the knee was bad. And then when I broke a bunch of ribs too, that really stunk. You know, all your breathing and everything you do in hockey, obviously, you have contact sport. Every time you're banging into somebody, your ribs are getting jarred. You sneeze and you buckle. I remember that I sneezed one time, like buckled down to a knee. And it's like, so those are two of the most painful ones that I had for sure. You know, nose being broken a bunch of times. Well, the first time sucked. After that, it just kind of pops out a little easier, a little less blood. I got a slap shot in the face one time. That didn't feel very good at all. It cracked my chin, and I needed about 14 stitches for that one. I'd say those are the worst ones. Yeah.
That's terrible.
That was a lot of fun, Carey.
Now, when you were not playing in the NHL and you were overseas, did you ever, there's this thing called the Russian gas.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to play on that?
No, it was going around. Yeah, they got this thing where they put this mask on you and they crank it up. And it's like, I don't know what the hell it is. They call it the Russian gas. Guys are flying after that. Like, I have no idea. There's no regulation on it at all.
You didn't try it?
No. Listen.
It turned into the Winter Soldier.
First of all, that whole experience was actually really funny to go to Russia. Like, living there and all that was a whole, like, that was scary and it was tough and all that. But going there, I was at the end of my career.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm like semi-retired. I'm going to enjoy my time over in Russia. No, you're practicing twice a day. You work out twice a day. You go for a run in the morning. It was hell is what it was. And then for them to ask me, here, do you want the Russian gas? I'm like, no. I'm like at the end of my career. I don't want what am I going home with if I breathe this stuff in? Then they were popping syringes in guys. I'm not joking. They called it vitamins. I'm like, I bet. I looked over at my teammate. He was like, I'm like, oh my God. This guy was ripped, covered in acne. I was like, okay, that's not vitamins. I know what that is.
The vitamin D.
It was some vitamin
Drink
something.
some sunny D.
But
vitamin S.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. I didn't touch any of that stuff. No, thank you.
Question number 2.
Now the vodka.
From the 618, considering it's been a while since any of the Cardinals' projected minor leaguers have reached stardom with the team, is that a scouting problem?
Is it a scouting problem?
What do you consider stardom?
Well, hold on here. Are you talking about just starters? Like starting pitchers?
I think they're talking any position.
Yeah, any position. Just like stars. When was the last time this team had a star that they did not trade for?
That's a pretty good question.
Yeah, that they didn't trade for. Yeah, Pujols.
That's not great.
Yeah, injuries. I don't know if it's necessarily a scouting thing. I mean, it could be, but
stars.
Yeah, I think they've limited themselves. I think they limited themselves in the international draft or the international signing period. I think that they just, to develop a star, you also have to have to be usually higher in the drafts. We'll see what happens with Jordan Walker. They've developed guys. I mean, most of their roster right now is homegrown talent. Tommy Edmonds homegrown. Brendan Donovan's homegrown.
They don't have the guys haven't become stars.
Jordan Walker. No, they haven't. So I don't necessarily think at this point it's like a huge scouting issue. I think, would Sandy Alcantara be a star? Can be considered a star, even though he was hurt last year?
He's not on your team.
I know, but they have scouted really good players. They haven't held on to them.
I mean, he's a Cy Young Award winner, but I don't know if I'd consider him from like the national perspective. When you hear all these names, like his name is not superstar. He's an all-star.
Yeah,
but so is.
There's a lot of teams that don't have a star, though.
Oh yeah, and they suck.
Well, you're average, so that's good, right? You don't suck. You're just average.
You weren't average last year.
I don't think that they've always gone for the guy that has the immense upside. I think that's more of a problem.
No, cheaper.
Well, that too. But when it comes to the draft, I think they've located guys. I've made this point before that are just they've locked down to guys that have like this low floor or this high floor. They don't worry about the ceiling. And when you have guys that don't have a high ceiling, you're not going to find a superstar. So I think it's more of an issue with that as opposed to they just don't know how to scout. I think it's the players that they scout. They want to make sure that they make it at the big league level. Not necessarily on, Sports Center all the time.
Question number 3.
By the way, Sports Center has completely changed.
Right. You know what I mean.
You remember waking up and you're like, man, I can't wait to see the recap of this game.
Yeah, we got nothing now.
Nothing.
It's different.
We had a bunch of talk shows, and then you get Sports Center on ESPN 2 like at noon.
Yep.
Definitely not the same.
No.
Like, here's the final highlight of this baseball game. We're not going to show you anything else. Just one highlight.
Guy catching the ball.
That's it.
Game over.
Or a home run.
Or a home run. Yep.
From the 314, what do you think is the best St. Louis sports team to never win the championship? This texter believes it is the 2004 Cardinals.
Yeah. To me, it's not even close. It's the 2004 St. Louis Cardinals. It's a 2004 St. Louis Cardinals.
The 1996 Blues were pretty damn good too.
It's a good year.
That's the double. It's the double overtime loss to the Red Wings in 7. With Gretzky, Hull, McInnes, Pronger. Like, we had some guys.
Yeah.
That President's Trophy winning team was pretty damn good, too.
I don't think that team was as good. I don't.
All right, so I won't say it's not even close. I say I'll say it's the Cardinals.
The 2004 Cardinals were like an all-star team.
But what you brought up, that team was loaded. The Rams that lost to the Patriots, they were loaded.
Yeah, they were.
A lot of Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
On all those teams.
I think we've covered every team. It's the 04 Cardinals.
Yeah, but it's different years.
Sure.
It's not like one team. It's just like different years, which is natural in a sports town to have when you have multiple teams.
Yeah. The what could have been.
Like last year is by far the best year City's ever had.
Right. Right. Yeah.
By far.
We'll always remember that. Like,
Yeah, that team could have won it all.
They could have.
They should have.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have.
Yep.
See? We were robbed.
Question number 4.
From the 217, with what we know about the team now, what are guys' expectations of the Battlehawks?
Oh, I'm expecting a good team. I am. I honestly feel like the ownership / management people here know what they've got in St. Louis. And I think they know they can't put a crappy team on that field.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Anthony Beck, like, he knows. Like, he got the best job out of everybody. He's got the stadium that's going to be packed. He's got a great city. He's got a great fan base, all that stuff. Now he's got to just make sure he has the best team. And now last year, the playoffs are a little wonky, how they did it, whatever. I don't know how the UFL is going to have their playoffs set up, but you have to be a playoff team. If you're the Battlehawks, you have to focus on being a playoff team. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Okay.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like that they have A.J. McCarron back. I mean, that was big for them. That gave them a decided advantage. A year ago, they weren't the best team, but you get a guy that's been at the NFL level, somebody that can get to the line of scrimmage. He can audible in and out of plays. I thought that was a huge advantage for him. So,
question number 5.
From the 386, best place to get a sandwich. Is it Joya's, LeGrand, Mom's Deli, other? What's your favorite place?
Mom's Deli's really good.
Never had it.
It's pretty solid, yeah. I've had all 3 of these places, all really good.
Marsh, how would you rank them? I think you're probably the best to go on right now.
I'll just go by how many times I've had this establishment. I think I've had Mom's Deli more than all of these other ones. But Joya's, really good. I'll go Mom's Deli, Joya's, and then LeGrand.
All right.
There you go.
But they're all really good.
Nice.
There's no loser.
No, there's no loser here. It's a Sando,
Is there another one, though, that sticks out?
It's like not chain-wise.
You know what? There's one. I'll tell you this. It's called the Kirkwood Deli. And it's just down the road from the rink over there. And every year when we run our camps at the Kirkwood Ice Center, which is coming up soon, by the way, synergyhockeyskills.com. Spots are flying. Actually, Kirkwood's sold out already, so good luck with that one. We got another one coming up later on in the summer there. But there's the Kirkwood Deli. I went in there like when I'm going to pick up a couple of Gatorades or something like whatever. I look over and they look like a real deli. I'm like, or look at the sandwiches, ordered a couple sandwiches. They were unbelievable.
Really?
So now, like, every year I'm like excited. I'm like, I get 5 days of Kirkwood Deli.
Mike Ryder, as well as a lot of people on the text line, are saying Gramophone.
Really? I don't know if I
don't know if I've been there either. It sounds like a good place, though.
I don't think I have.
If everyone's, saying, hey, you need to go here, you should probably get there.
Absolutely.
Question number 6.
All right, final one here. This is a great one for you guys. This is from Tanisha from the Snake Pit. How much is too much to give a kid for allowance? I was going to give my son $10 to clean his room, and my husband says that is way too much.
So there's varying opinions on this, certainly. And my girlfriend and I have different points of view on this. So when it's cleaning your room or the basic essentials to life, things you should be doing anyways, she doesn't believe that to be something you get an allowance for. It's like you're supposed to keep your room clean. You're supposed to walk the dog. You're supposed to, like, if I ask you to go above and beyond to do something that you're not supposed to do, then you get paid for that. I'm like, okay, you're a little bit of a hardo here. Okay? I'm a little different. I think that it's good to teach the kids that if they do certain things, they get paid a certain amount. They get rewarded for it with a little bit of money. Now, $10, is it $10 just for cleaning his room or $10 for the week? Like, how old is the kid? There's a lot of different variables here.
I'm just reading what it says just to clean the room.
I would go I would have a small list of like 4 or 5 things, or maybe one thing each day that a kid can do that's above and beyond, and pay them the $10 for the week.
Okay.
Because I think a kid, she's probably talking about a younger kid. What do they really need money for, right? But it's nice for them to have it. If they go in somewhere they want to buy a pack of baseball cards or whatever the kids buy these days, they can do that.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my method of operation, is one little chore per day that actually helps the household.
Yeah.
And pay them $10 a week.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I like the way that you kind of separated those two things too. Like, are you helping or are you just maintaining?
Yeah.
Because if it's just standard maintaining, picking up your crap,
or if
we're
I'm
not
just
going to reward
making
you
up
for
some
it.
kind of fluff for the kid to do to earn money, what am I really teaching them?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'd buy a Bionicle if I were him.
Okay.
What?
What?
What's a Bionicle?
Look it up.
Don't ask. I don't know either.
I'll search it on the work computer.
They're like little, like Lego Bion. I don't know how to explain it, but they're each set is sold separately. That's what I remember.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
They're sweet. That's Andrew Marsh, Gary Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Blues keys to victory and Blues first goal of the game ahead of tonight's game against the Kings. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, are you currently using ED meds? Well, you know how I feel about it. I don't care. Nobody actually cares about it. But I care if you're paying too much money for those ED meds. And we all know what they look like, the little blue pill, the gummy thing. Well, the medicine shop in St. Charles is your destination for cheap ED meds. They have a generic called sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. That's less than $2 a pill, guys. Check it out. Prescription is required. And if you have any other medicines that you require on a regular basis and you have a crazy schedule or you travel a lot or the kids have a lot of activities after school and you can't get to the pharmacy, the medicine shop in St. Charles will come to you. They have free discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace for that matter. And it's an amazing program. I use that program, and you'll absolutely love it. The best part about the medicine shop as well is that it's not a chain. They quality customer service. If you have any questions for them, they're going to answer your questions. They take unbelievable care of me and my family, and they will do the same for you guys. So please go check them out. But if you can't get there in person, please check them out online at stcharles.pharmacy. That's stcharles.pharmacy.
last night on 101 ESPN. Blues Kings pregame at 5:30 right here on 101 ESPN. We'll have the game for you as well on the Blues Radio Network. Time for Jamie Rivers.
51 keys. In
50.
honor of Matthew Kessel.
Keys to victory tonight.
Well played, Carey.
Carey Davis with a home run on that.
Very well.
With a hat trick.
Yeah. You got 51? No, that's okay.
He's got 51.
He does have 51, but I don't know that he wants to
We
do
have
51.
time for 51. I can throw the hell out if you want.
We'll make the time.
Yeah, after last game, we've only got one key. I mean, come on. When they lose, we got more keys.
Win the game.
You win the game. All right, so first key to victory here tonight against the LA Kings is don't turn the puck over in the neutral zone. The LA Kings play a different neutral zone. It's called the 1-3-1. It's very difficult to just carry the puck up the ice. A lot of times they force you to one side, then they cut the ice in half, and they create turnovers. That's what it's designed to do, is to be very heavy on creating turnovers. So the Blues are going to have to be patient. They're going to have to reverse puck side. All that means, Anthony, or you call it the hinge play. All that means is you head up one side of the ice, and you pass it backwards and pass it to the other side of the ice so that they start their neutral zone forecheck in a certain way where they're trying to squeeze. You drop it back, get over to the weak side where there's nobody, and now you can skate and get the puck in the zone. But if you try to pass the puck through the middle of the ice, or even sometimes chip it up the wall, that plays into their hands, and LA loves to take that puck, turn quickly, and up the ice with it fast. So you got to make sure you're limiting the turnovers, specifically in the neutral zone tonight. You got to battle to get the inside ice in both ends. That's all it means is the net front. LA has some big bodies. They have some guys who are not afraid to get to the front of the net. They will get there on a regular basis. They will test you physically that way. And in their end as well, you as a team have to work to get that inside ice as well. For me, the power play has to stay hot. After last game, scoring the 5-on-3 was a really nice goal. You got to capitalize on that. This is how you win games right now down the stretch, is making sure that your special teams are good. So the power play's got to stay potent as well for the Blues. Also, you need energy tonight. This is your first game back after a 5-game road trip. A lot of times this first game back is kind of the dud. You can't have the dud. Somehow, some way, you have to create an energy in the first period. So we'll see what this lineup does, but you got to do something. Score quickly, get a big hit, get a big fight, something. Get the energy going, get the building loud and behind the team. And so the guys are ready to go. And the last one for me is for the goaltenders. Limit the bad rebounds. Because LA, we just talked about, they get big bodies down in front of the net and they're waiting for that second, third opportunity. So Jordan Binnington tonight is going to have to do a good job of either swallowing up the rebound so there is no second or third chance, or guiding the rebounds to non-dangerous areas, which means shot from the point, and you got to guide it to one corner or the other corner to where your players have an equal chance to retrieve that puck. Mm-hmm. And then you got to be hungry on those pucks. So those are my keys to the game.
Beautiful.
Let's go, boys.
We need you to score more goals.
Get those loose pucks.
Thomas to Kyrou. Score!
Goal!
No big deal. Game winner.
Jamie, who do you got scoring the first goal of the game tonight?
Wow. I got Braden Shen. I'm going back with the captain. Braden Shen, I think that he's playing with that top line. It's going to simplify his game a little bit. And I know that Robert Thomas... who got the first one the other night? Was it Tom? No, it was Kasperi Kapanen, and he got the first one the other night. I think Braden Shen gets it.
Was it Kapanen who we all... No,
we didn't have that game. That
was
Monday night.
Duke. You guys threw to the
Wolves
side and was like, I don't want him.
Who scored that first one?
Captain.
You just say we didn't have that game. Kapanen.
No, we didn't have Kapanen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Got it.
Nobody had Kapanen. He scored like 5 goals.
Yeah. You taking him?
I know.
Okay.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm going to go Jake Neighbors. Why not?
Come on.
Jakey. Net front. Get there. Tip it in. Score a goal. Easy. That's how it's done, right, Jamie?
Absolutely.
Stand in front of the net, good things happen.
Answers to the test.
Absolutely. Yeah. Marsh?
Well, I had 2 players in mind. You know, I'm such a a storyline type of guy. And I'm looking at Braden Shen. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings. Well, he's off the board. Jake Neighbors, same draft as Quentin Byfield, who went number 2, plays for the Los Angeles Kings. He's off the board. I'm going to go with Matthew Kessel to score his first NHL goal tonight.
There you go. There's a storyline for you. Absolutely. Yeah. Why don't you just go ahead and give me Booch? I'll take Booch.
That's a good call, too.
14 shots, last 5 games. Doesn't have a goal in those 14 shots.
Eventually, one of
which
them's
means he's
gonna go
due. He's
factor.
absolutely due. All right, we got our biggest question of the day next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. You know that with spring just a few weeks away, that means rain is also on the way. And if you have a roof that is leaking, if it's old, if you know you need to replace it to, extend the lifetime of your house or maybe just move out, Happy Roof Company, they've got to be your first call, because if you call today, they're going to have somebody out to look at your issue within 24 hours. Or again, maybe you don't have an issue. Maybe you just know you need a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing. Happy Roof Company also has the superior high-end products, and they give you the 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs. Over 50 years combined experience in roofing, siding, and gutters. They don't chase storms. They only work within the St. Louis market. In fact, their headquarters are in South County, out in Sunset Hills. They have cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs that combine with financing, which is available with the Happy Roof Company. And they have free estimates with competitive pricing. Happy Roof Company needs to be your first call when it comes to replacing your roof or fixing your roof. And again, if you call today, they will have someone out to look at your issue within 24 hours. Happy Roof Company, call them 314-665-3001, 314-665-3001. Make sure you tell them Stalter sent you. You can also visit them at thehappyroof.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 5:03. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers and officially Lexington's Rolex jeweler. Here's Andrew Marsh with the biggest question of the day.
All right, so yesterday, Jamie, you might remember this. We were talking about the Blues power play and how they were able to score on the power play fairly quickly. There were some things that you told me. How does this team, for most of the season, they just have a bad power play, right? But it seems like they've started to click a little bit more. What have you seen from a system standpoint?
Well, they've been substantially better under Coach Drew Bannister. I think they were 8% on the power play when Chief was relieved of his duties, and Chief doesn't quarterback the power play, so it's certainly not necessarily his fault. However, the power play was not good. Under Drew Bannister, they've been fine. They've been pretty good, actually. At some points, one of the hottest power plays in the NHL. It did dry up for a little bit on that last road trip, but they regained it there in the last game against the Boston Bruins. But the number one thing that I'm seeing is the established net front presence. That's one thing that about a week and a half to 2 weeks into his tenure here, Drew Bannister said, we're going to have a net front presence. Like, we're going to have a guy who just stands there. We don't have to be all cutesy all of the time. We're going to have a guy who stands there. And he elected to put Jake Neighbors with the first power play unit and Oscar Sundquist with the second power play unit. And since that time, the power play unit has improved a lot. Jake Neighbors has made a home in front of that net, scoring a whole bunch of goals right there inside the blue paint.
Yeah, he is.
So, to me, that's the biggest difference that I see. I also see when it's successful, it's way more direct. So when you go back to a couple weeks ago, there's several plays that were generated where it goes Robert Thomas to Torrey Krug. Torrey Krug walks across the blue line, passes it back along the blue line to Robert Thomas. And now he's got time. Earlier in the season, Robert Thomas coming up to about the halfway mark. So Krug was passing it to the half wall or to the inside the faceoff circle. And that allows the defender to close out time and space easy. You can get in front of the shot. You can get your stick in the passing lane. When Robert Thomas stretches that up to the blue line now, the top guy on the penalty killing unit, he has to follow Torrey Krug. He has to respect the shot that it could be coming. So as he's being drugged along the blue line, Robert Thomas now is filling in the gap behind to where there's nobody there. As a defenseman, I can't run out to the blue line.
Right.
If I do, that pass is going right down to Jake Neighbors, and he's going to stuff it with Booch and Kyrie. They're right there because you got two guys trapped up high, 3-on-2 down low. You've got it made.
Right.
So the defenseman has to stay in a more of a holding pattern there. And that gives Robert Thomas a lot of time and space to elect what he's going to do next. And we've seen him shoot the puck a lot more from there. We've seen him be able to make those plays now because the player is not in his way.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the two things for me overall that have really changed. Is the net front presence and then creating more time and space for Robert Thomas to make the plays that he likes to make. Do I think they could still shoot the puck more? Yes, absolutely. Do I still think there could be more movement overall in the power play? Yeah. Look at the Rangers the other night. Let's just use them for an example. They're 6th in the NHL in power play percentage. Artemi Panarin is their best player. He is all over the ice. He starts on the strong side. He goes all the way up, plays defense for a while. Then he's all the way back down on the one-timer side, all the way back over here. Like he's moving all over the place, which means it's really hard to pick him up defensively. Because just when you think you're the guy on his side, okay, I've got to be aware. This guy's, if he gets the puck, I've got to be in the shot lane or whatever. Then he's gone. So now you're handing off that responsibility to somebody else. And then when he really does his damage is when he gets all the way up to the blue line. And nobody really has him then. And the other night, they scored 2 goals that way. To where Panarin got up to the top, and then he fired a purposeful shot for a deflection that ended up going off Trocheck, Parayko into the net. And the other one he fired, missed the net, but it bounced back to Kreider, who put it in the open net. That was generated off of Artemi Panarin, who was playing defense at the time, not forward.
Yeah.
He's roaming. He was a rover at the time. So that's the one thing I think that Robert Thomas could really do well. Because he sees the ice so well, he skates so well, he handles the puck so well, I think he could move around. If it's not there on the first one, pass it, then get down, go behind the net, force somebody to try and find you. If a player's trying to find you, they're not defending another player.
Right.
And so by looking for this other guy who's the best player on the team, the defenseman might err on the side of being too much like just tractor beamed into where's Robert Thomas, and then all of a sudden Booch is open, Jake Neighbors is open, Kyrou is open. Maybe somebody then fills up and comes up to where he was up top. To me, there could be a little more motion too. So.
Well, we'll find out tonight.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
I like that a lot. The Blues and Kings tonight. We got the pregame at 5:30 right here on 101 ESPN. Of course, we got the game for you on the Blues Radio Network. Getting you updated on some of the other happenings in the NFL, some more free agency news. The Commanders have agreed to a contract with former Seahawk Bobby Wagner. On a one-year contract, so Bobby Wagner is going from Seattle to Washington. Calvin Ridley earlier today signed a 4-year, $92 million contract with the Tennessee Titans. The Chargers just released Mike Williams, wide receiver. Did I also see they released Khalil Mack?
I think they're keeping
Khalil Mack. That's what I read earlier, and then I saw up on the screen there's a breaking news, and I saw that both those guys were mentioned, but I don't know if they released him or they're just separating the two. I think Mike Williams was the only one that was released. They saved $20 million on the salary cap with that move. See if there's anything else that's kind of popped up in the last. Oh, you lost your starting quarterback, Carey. The Titans agreed to a deal with Mason Rudolph on a one-year deal.
Sorry.
So it looks like the Steelers are all in on Captain High Knees there.
Hey, you guys just wait.
Yeah,
I'll be.
You remember you saying that.
You guys wait. Just wait. Just wait and see.
I don't think we have to.
I think it's funny that you two both have quarterbacks that about a year ago you were making fun of.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing.
I admit to that. Carey's the one that's got his head in the sand.
Well, I watched Kenny Pickett play football.
Buried.
Have y'all seen him play?
Who?
Yeah, he stinks.
Kenny Pickett.
Well, little hands? Yeah,
you seen him play?
Saw him in that Burger King commercial.
This is an upgrade. Was he in that Burger King commercial?
With the Whopper.
It's an upgrade. How did he hold it?
Barely hold it.
Yeah.
Did he hold it with two hands? It's an upgrade for a team that has everything you need. Just need another quarterback. Still may draft one. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Listen, Carey, I believe in you.
I believe in them.
Not your team. Garrett Cole's been shut down. He's going to see Dr.
Again.
What?
Again, is that guy ever healthy?
Yeah, he's always healthy.
Healthy last year.
Garrett Cole? I thought he was injured all the time. Who's the guy I'm
You're
thinking
thinking of DeGrom.
That's it.
You're thinking of DeGrom or maybe his
Jacob
former
DeGrom.
teammate?
Noah Syndergaard?
No.
Nah, he didn't do anything to you.
Not Glass now, but
Oh.
DeGrom's former
Thought you were talking
teammate?
about
no.
Steven
Cole's
Matz.
former
Matt
teammate.
Harvey?
No.
I thought you were talking about
Matt Harvey.
Steven
No.
Matz.
The Dark Knight?
This guy on the Cubs.
Kerry Wood. No, not that far back.
Stroman.
Marcus Stroman.
He's a Yankee.
Jake Arrieta.
You guys are killing me.
Well, who is it?
Absolutely killing me.
Lucas Giolito.
No.
He's hurt too.
Wait, let's reset this. Whose teammate?
Garrett Cole's teammate in
Which
Pittsburgh.
team?
Former.
Oh, Max Fried.
Max Fried's a Brave. He's always been a Brave. He's never. Jameson Taillon.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, that just rolls off. Yeah.
You guys,
Who's
honestly.
the guy from the Braves that used to play for the
You said
Pirates?
Cubs.
You couldn't have.
You said
Charlie Morton?
Charlie Morton, that's who I was
a
thinking
bunch of different teams.
He had no idea.
You said Mets.
That's what I was asking you guys.
No,
And I got Kerry Wood.
Well, no one remembers that he was on the Pirates.
He had a hell of a breaking ball.
Yeah. He struck out 20 batters one time.
Yeah, 20 Cardinals, I believe is what it was.
Was it 20 Cardinals?
No.
It wasn't Cardinals.
No.
It was 20 batters.
We'll be
It's the
naming people
Astros.
all day if that was the case.
Wow. You know, I'm getting real sick and tired. I'm with the text line now. I'm getting real sick and tired.
Okay, that's
of you
really
guys
rich of you.
constantly complaining about the Cardinals. You know, if you guys have just a little bit of decency, a little bit of hope that you can give to these people.
A little bit of faith.
That's why they're listening to us, you know, to get hopeful about their team. But you guys, you just spew negativity.
I don't know.
For 4 hours every day.
Are you done?
Hold on. Yep, we got enough time. All right. Spent enough time in that segment.
There you go.
Bet the board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, and compliments next.
Cheap, cheap, fun, fun.
Let's get dirty over at Dirt Cheap. They have the best prices in town on all of your favorites, whether it's beer, white wine, red wine. How about the bubbly? They got the bubbly over there, too. They got the flavored vodkas. They've got some of the best bourbons out there. I can tell you that from personal experience, that anytime I head over to Dirt Cheap, they've got all of my favorites. I've told you this before. The Elijah Craig Small Batch. It's a great find. Reasonably priced, incredibly reasonably priced at Dirt Cheap as well. Just an awesome bourbon. You will absolutely love it. Now, Dirt Cheap, they have various ways for you to get your spirits. You can stop by any location. Please do. They're awesome over there. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you can't do that, you can get on the app. Download the Dirt Cheap app. It's really easy to navigate. They've got great savings. They got special clubs on there. They even have raffles that you can be a part of. And all of that is over at Dirt Cheap. They also have a new service where you can order your alcohol online, have it delivered to your home, or you can pick it up curbside at any of the Dirt Cheap locations. They really are the best in the business for several reasons. The pricing, the product, and the customer service. So please visit them over at Dirt Cheap. You're absolutely going to love it. And remember to have fun, but be careful out there. If you are currently looking to save money on your car or your home insurance, please call Tracy Bibb at the Bibb Agency. They have some of the most competitive rates out there, and you're also going to get that personal attention that you require from your agent. Today is a perfect example of that for me. Looking to renew my tags, do all that stuff, and I had forgotten where I put my insurance card. Couldn't find the email, whatever. It's okay. I text Tracy Bibb, and she has it sent over via email to my email immediately. I printed out, went there, got my new tags. That's because Tracy Bibb knows her customers. She's not just some 1-800 number that you call and you get somebody different all the time, and then you can't get what you need and you're stressed out. Maybe you have a claim that you're working on and you've spent several days on it. It gets very, very frustrating. Skip all that. Go with Tracy Bibb. Not only does she have competitive rates, but she makes sure you're covered properly as well. The proper coverage is so important for all of us. And Tracy Bibb, no charge to give her a call. It's a free non-committal quote, and all you have to do is call her at 314-328-4260. Again, that number is 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The big news of the day, the Blues have signed defenseman Matthew Kessel to a 2-year, one-way contract extension worth $1.6 million. We talked about that with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you will find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We only have a few minutes left of the fast lane before we have to get to Blues Kings pregame starting at 5:30. The puck drop for that game will be at 6:30, and of course you can catch it right here on 101 ESPN. We'll have Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you miss anything from today's show, you can download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or use your 101 ESPN mobile app. Podcast all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Marsh, update those standings, kid.
All right, Anthony, you are 5-3. I am 4-4. Carey is 3-5, and Jamie is 2-6.
Yeah, not great.
On my way.
Great.
Carey or Jamie, you're gonna be great tonight.
No,
I feel it.
Not.
I do. I feel it in my bones.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go back to the college basketball.
Okay.
Give me Kansas plus 2.5
Who are they
against
playing?
Cincinnati in the Big 12 tournament. Give me KU plus 2.5, please. Thank you.
All right, I'm looking at the NHL. I think I'm going to go with the Blues and Kings game tonight. I really like the save prop for the Blues goaltenders as of late. So I'm looking at Jordan Binnington, his saves, 28.5. I'm taking the over.
Oh. There'll be a lot of shots on goal.
Yeah, probably will be.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm going to go Denver Nuggets on the road in Miami, minus 3.5. Give me the Nuggets.
All right. There you have it. Marsh, what do we got for...
Did Jamie pick one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we're just so used to...
Just so far behind. And you're not typically here.
I know I'm not doing well, but I'm still a human being. Okay?
And you know what? You do have a winning month.
I do.
Which I do not have.
Yeah.
Marsh doesn't have.
I don't either, yeah.
So my apologies, Jamie.
Well, screw you. All right.
It takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. And I was wrong.
Oh, yeah, you're not that
Hey, by the
And
way...
I'm big.
By the way, Jamie, this is from the 314. Kansas is without their 2 best players.
I don't care. Just throwing it out there. That's why there's a point
He
spread.
already made his
pick. He's done.
No, I'm just
like the damn gavel.
No, I
earlier today.
understand. No, I'm just saying if you wanted to.
No.
fade
Do you know why?
Anthony.
Do you know why I picked them? Because their best 2 players are out, and they're only 2.5-point underdogs.
There you go.
That doesn't make any sense.
At all. But
I
go with
wasn't
it.
going college basketball. I can tell you that much.
That was at me.
I know what it was. I knew what he was trying to do. Yeah. All right, I'm going with the Avalanche over the Canucks tonight. The Canucks have lost their number 1 goalie, Thatcher Demko. Avs are minus 102 in this game, so I got the Avs.
Well, according to Anthony, you can lose your players. Doesn't matter.
Not your goalie.
Clippers lost a player last night, and that's why they got beat down.
Yeah, I shouldn't have picked them.
All right, Marsh.
All right, you want some criticisms and compliments?
Yes.
From the 910, Anthony, you're the best.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I don't know if that was said in jest, though. They're like full of stank. I'll read it like a compliment. Thank you.
I think it was.
I think so,
I
too.
appreciate you.
From the 314, Jamie, are you seriously going to take that crap?
From who?
Anthony.
Anthony.
It was probably me.
It's problem. Don't worry. He'll get it back. You know I'll give it to you, Anthony.
Thanks, buddy.
I will. You know it. Always do.
Why don't you guys like each other?
Yeah. Where do I start?
What else you got there, Marsh?
Just Anthony. He's going to get it all.
Yeah. Thanks, Janet. Thank you.
All right, from the 314, kudos to Jamie for sharing the challenges of playing while being scared to make a mistake. We'll be sharing this story with my 16-year-old son who plays hockey.
Nice.
Good. I'm glad. Pass that along. Because kids these days, they get caught up in this and they get afraid to make mistakes, and they're playing not to get in trouble. Oh, man. Get out there. Get after it. So please pass that on.
Have fun.
Yes.
But be careful out there.
Yes.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day is going to go to something that Jamie actually passed on, but a lot of people find it interesting. It's the Russian gas.
Oh yeah.
You weren't intrigued? You didn't want to know just a little bit what was in
Carey,
it?
I had visions of hooking up to this Russian gas, finding myself in an alley somewhere about 4 hours later with ice packs on my midsection because my organs were gone. No thanks.
Not great.
It'd be interesting, though.
Or just vomiting, or like I have no idea what it was. You wouldn't have done it either.
I probably would.
No, bull.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to something that's a little bit less crazy, more tasteful, Captain Crunch.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, get the
Good old
stuff in your
Captain.
teeth.
Good old Captain Crunch.
Nothing like it.
And then our 1st star of the day, Anthony, I mean, you laid it out and made sure these people got their credit for daylight savings, and that's the farmers.
Yes.
The farmers of America.
FarmersOnly.com.
That's right. Yep. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome for that.
You know, there's like a reality show about farmers dating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I tune in for that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but the girls aren't farmers, or what do you call them? Farm girls? They're like city girls. They hook them up with the
They're
farm
just
guy.
farmers.
Ah.
You know?
Whatever.
I don't know how that works.
I'm telling you the concept of the show, Anthony.
I appreciate it.
Don't correct me.
Yeah.
Especially you.
You throw it out there like,
Especially you.
are they
Don't correct anybody.
farm gals? No,
Stay
they're
in your
just
lane.
farmers.
Clean up your own backyard, buddy.
That's Jamie Rivers. That's Gary Davis. That's Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We'll see you down at Ballpark Village tomorrow for 314 Day. We got Blues Kings pregame now. See ya.